So, let's start our event. A warm morning to all present here. On behalf of Mangalam College of Engineering, I would like to invite all dignitaries, guests and delegates. With great joy and immense exultation, again I extend my hearty welcome to this grand event on International Conference on Nanoelectronics, Nanophotonics, Nanomaterials, Nanobioscience and Nanotechnology 5NANO2022 sponsored by SERV-DST, Government of India, technically sponsored by IEEE Photonics Society, USA in association with MSME, Government of India. I am really proud that this program has become a regular aspect and a part of Mangalam College of Engineering, which is being hosted by IEEE Photonics Society Student Chapter. Without any further delay, we can move on to the inaugural ceremony. A day without prayer is a day without blessing, and a life without prayer is a life without power. Now, let's all raise to invoke the blessings from the Almighty. I call upon IEEE Photonics Society student branch volunteers for the prayer.
There shall be showers of blessings. This is the promise of love. There shall be seasons refreshing, sent from the Savior above. Showers of blessings, showers of blessings we need. Mercy rock round us are falling, but for the showers we plead. Showers of blessings, showers of blessings we need. Mercy round us are falling, but for the showers we plead.
Dr. G.D. Subhash, the backbone of this conference. Without him, we would not be possible to conduct this event. Now, I would like to invite the Global Strategy Representative of India, IEEE Photonics Society, USA, and also the organizing chair of this conference, Lieutenant Dr. G.D. Subhash, for the welcome address. So, please.
Mangalam, my own prestigious institution. Most respected dignitaries, honored of the dais, dear participants, and my dear volunteers. Warm good morning to all. IEEE 5NANO is a series of conferences hosted in India, which is technically sponsored by IEEE Photonics Society, USA. Totally 2 conferences sponsored by IEEE Photonics Society in India. One is WRAP, which happens once in 2 years, hosted by IITs. This year, WRAP 2022 was hosted by IIT Mumbai last month. Second is IEEE 5NANO, our own prestigious conference, which happens every year, last week of April, most probably Thursday and Friday. You can note it. For the past 2 years, IEEE 5NANO2022 is hosted in Kerala, that too in our beautiful Mangalam campus. I am delighted to share that IEEE 5NANO2023 is also approved by IEEE Photonics Society, and it is also decided to host in Mangalam campus on 29th and 30th April 2023. Hope I can expect some repeated participants from this conference too. Then about 5NANO2022. This conference received 316 technical papers, and after detailed review, 92 papers were selected for oral presentation. The conference is scheduled to have around 7 parallel sections in 7 different tracks. We have more than 150 participants from various institutions representing countries such as Russia, Australia, Poland, Egypt, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, United Kingdom, Switzerland, and United States of America. Today, in person in this campus, we have participants from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Then the highlights of IEEE 5NANO series of conferences are: first one is travel grant. So according to me, the only such financing college which providing travel grant to the participants is it is IEEE 5NANO conference there to Mangalam. Be proud about that. Second is we are getting repeated participants. The past 3 years we are getting some around 30 to 50 participants are repeated participants. The next is Best Paper Award. For each and every section, every track, we are providing Best Paper Awards. Today too, hope everyone is ready to be ready to come here because of the Best Paper. I do know that. So don't worry, whatever commitment I provided, I will do. Clear? Because we are planning to have the tracks 1 and 2 combinedly. 1 separate Best Paper, 2 separate Best Paper, then 2 and 4 separately, then 5, 6, 7. So this is the 3 venues which we have planned today in person. Rest online it will happen as usual, which is mentioned in your program schedule. Then the last highlight is the entire program was hosted by students, that too undergraduate students. Started from the guests to all the participants you have visited. You received repeated emails and repeated phone calls from my students, not from faculty members. So I'm proud to say that our students are very much trained in this case. We are working day and night the entire year for this particular conference. Then I also express my special gratitude to Dr. Butta Chandrasekhar, Srimati Prabhavati ma'am and Dr. Manna. Thanks is a small word, sir. Because whenever I invite, they come freely and even though they are busy schedule, they are with us. This makes the conference most prestigious. Then let me come to my duty. First and foremost, I express a hearty welcome to the man of distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas, the chairman of Mangalam College of Engineering, Dr. Biju Varghese. I extend a hearty welcome, sir. Today, we feel honored to have with us the Honorable Chief Guest, Chief Coordinating Officer, AICT, Minister of Education, Government of India, Dr. Butta Chandrasekhar. You hardly need any introduction because he is a unique combination of technologies. He is very active in social media. So even his busy schedule, he committed with us. So thank you very much, sir, for your availability. I extend a red carpet welcome to you, sir. Today we are inspired with a scientist as a guest of honor who involved in the development of armed fighting vehicles and tanks for our Indian Armed Forces. A great leader, a brave lady from CVRD, DRDO, Ministry of Defence, Government of India. The additional director of CVRD, DRDO, Srimati Prabhavati. I extend a warm welcome, ma'am. Next, we have a special guest, a 50-year-old young and dynamic personality, the chairman of Prakash Bharati, which is nothing but a consortium of photonics members in India. We are blessed to have him as our chief guest of the, special guest of the day, the former director of AICT, Dr. Mandeep Singh Manna. Welcome, sir. Next in this hall, we have the keynote speaker, Dr. Tripathi from NIT Silchar. Welcome, sir. Next, the backbone of our conference. You all aware of whatever conference held, the website plays on vital role. The conference committee member, the social media chair, my beloved friend, Professor Titus from Karunya University. I welcome a warm welcome, sir. Warm welcome, sir. Next, we have a tall lady, the chairman of IEEE Photonics Society Student Chapter, second year undergraduate student of our institution, Miss Absi Bashir. I extend a warm welcome, ma'am. I bid a warm welcome to all the renowned speakers and delegates who took out their valuable time and join us today be a part of this great event. We are honored to have you all with us. To conclude with a quote of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our former President of India, learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, knowledge makes great. I wish you all a pleasant stay in Mangalam campus. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Great leaders don't set out to be a leader, they set out to make a difference. Now, I would like to welcome Shri Biju Varghese, Chairman of Mangalam College of Engineering, for the Presidential Address. Sir, please.
Esteemed guest, Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Chief Coordinating Officer, ACT, Guest of Honor, Mrs. R. Prabhavati, Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, former Chairman, ACT, guests from India and abroad, dignitaries, honor of the dais, my dear participants. Greetings to all participants from Mangalam College of Engineering. It's a great honor for us to host this prestigious two-day IEEE International Conference organized by IEEE Photonics Society Students Chapter at Mangalam College of Engineering under the sponsorship of SERV, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. We are thankful to Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Mrs. R. Prabhavati and Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna for your wonderful presence and active participation in this conference. On behalf of the management of Mangalam College of Engineering, I once again extend hearty welcome to you all to this campus. First of all, I would like to appreciate and congratulate the entire team for your effort to organize this great event, even during the pandemic. Also, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the participants, all the esteemed guests, researchers, and academicians for your wonderful participation and support for staging this program here. As we know, modern technology revolutionized the 21st century globe, but we are facing much more challenges in technological fields, so that solutions are needed here to fix the contradiction of a good intention of technology with a wrong way of using it. The technological developments during the last 2 decades have changed life of individuals and the practice of every aspect of human life. And dramatic changes in technology have been achieved. This advancement is associated to more demanding performance objectives for materials, structures, and machines, increased complexity of the engineering products and processes, especially in the field of nanotechnology, nanoelectronics, nanophotonics, nanomaterials, nanobioscience, and nanotechnology. Technology today has truly come of age. New nanomaterials and concepts are currently being developed and that show potential for producing energy from light, variations in temperature, and other sources with light conversion efficiency. Nanomaterials are really small, yet they may have a big impact on our everyday life that makes us exciting and important to know about. As regards to Mangalam Group of Education Institutions, we are supported and promoted by Mangalam Media Group that stands at the apex of the journalist and mass media communication sector in South India. Apart from Mangalam College of Engineering, 3 other colleges such as Mangalam School of Architecture and Planning offering degree leading to BR and MArch, Mangalam College of Education at postgraduate levels, and an Arts and Science College and 2 high secondary schools are functioning in these premises under our group. We always focus on technological advancement for the development of our nation. Education is the foundation of all development and progressive steps. Conferences and such other co-curricular activities enhances the qualities and expertise of academicians. At length, I cordially invite you to utilize this chance to get in contact with a different culture, since we are now thinking of being the members of an international community. Technology always makes a difference. It cultivates a new culture that untimely leads to a civilization. On this occasion, I once more express our gratitude to all our distinguished guests for your great presence and participation in this conference. I'm sure that this conference is highly blessed with the great presence of Dr. Buddha, Chief Coordinating Officer, ACT, Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, and Mrs. Prabhavati. I'm sure that this conference organizers have left no stone unturned to ensure that only genuine contributions of the highest standards are included in this international conference agenda and proceedings. I wish all the participants of the conference and the organizers a rich learning and networking experiences. Once again, I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm extremely sorry. In the dais, we have the Dean of Mangalam College of Engineering, Dr. Radhakrishnan, sir. Sir, I extremely red carpet welcome to you, sir. Thank you. Sorry for that. Okay.
On this special day, we are very much honored to have with us Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Chief Coordinating Officer, AICTE, as our chief guest. Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar is the Chief Coordinating Officer, AICTE, Ministry of Education, Government of India. He is the Technologist and Project Manager proficient in executing complex business intelligence, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, cyber security, big data, mobile, enterprise and Internet of Things projects. He has a hands-on experience in software, IT, education, smart cities, critical infrastructure, urban, finance, skill development, healthcare and telecommunication domains. He is an expert in managing advanced technologies, process, cybersecurity and people. He is leading the National Educational Alliance for Technology, NEET, Ministry of Education Internship Enterprise Portal, Artificial Intelligence Language Translation Project, Social Justice Ministry Scholarship Project, Indian Knowledge Systems, distributed for 50 crore free digital content, resources to higher education students and various student upskilling initiatives. A ray of light is a ray of hope. Let's all leave the darkness and step towards the brighter path. I invite Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar to deliver the inaugural address and for lighting the lamp. So please.
Can I have one participant, please?
Chair, student chair, please do
Yeah,
that.
please. Insist, madam, please.
Now I invite Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar for the inaugural address.
Good morning all. Do you know why we put a lamp because human, when we all born in forest, right? So we used to have a threat with animals. The first invention of human, which changed the entire pattern of human, is light. So that's the reason, we basically put a light, and we recognize that invention. So from light, now we move towards the nanoelectronics. I think ma'am missed one introduction. I'm an electronics and telecommunication engineer. So I'm so proud, I was literally waiting for this moment, because, I myself was to be part of the electronic chip development, because I was pretty good in electronics engineering, and my marks were somewhere around 98, 99, 98, 99. Sometimes when I get anything below 96, I used to be very upset. If you remember the chip, if you crack the chip, right, there is a white element in it. So I have taken it, I created it as a locket and put it in my thread. So that kind of a crazy I was with electronics. So I'm so happy to be here. And what a beautiful day, because I was going through these 18 pages. So I was wondering, oh my God, why I'm not a student now? Because, I really missing all this kind of activities. And I would like to thank everyone who has participated here. And first, I would like to thank Biju Varghese ji for organizing the international event. And from on behalf of the entire community, I would like to thank Biju Varghese ji for that, and for Subhash ji, who basically invited all of us here and changed us. And despite of busy schedule, we all are here because of him. So I would like to thank him for that. And then I would like to thank Prabhavati madam. I would like to thank my ex-colleague Manpreet Singh Manna ji. Radha Krishnan ji, whom I was interacting, and I felt very knowledgeable as well as very visionary, because you need someone with vision. So most of the times that is what is missing in most of the institutions. But I see that when I interacted, that's what I realized. I'm sure they will take not only your campus, our country name to the next level. And along with that, few are not participated here physically. But I would like to thank all the keynote speakers and participants from abroad. Professor James Morris from United States of America, Professor Sholi from United Kingdom, Professor Ladsley Grabensik from Switzerland, and Aditya Tripathi ji from Australia, Ivan ji from Russia, Ashki from Bangladesh, Charitra from Sri Lanka, Veena ji from Brunei, Vishnu Vijay Kumar ji from Singapore, Bhavna Gupta ji from Poland, Mithun Datta ji from Bangladesh. So as in India, we basically treat the entire globe as our village. We treat it as a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What it means is, the entire globe, every citizen in this country or in this globe is our family members. So I welcome all our family members, and I don't see you as a students, because I see you as an innovator. I see you as a scientist. I see you as a researchers, because I think that student word is no more relevant in 21st century, because you are the one who is more towards innovation, and I see 181 plus and 300 plus participants in this. I'm so happy, and I'm going through each and every college and see the kind of empowerment is happening in the entire world. And nanotechnology plays a major role. As an electronics engineer, I completely understand. It was a dream, for most of the electronics and telecommunication engineers those days, to be part of this. So now you people are very lucky. So I hope you will utilize this. And before I move forward, I would like to thank IEEE, which is a very trusted voice for engineering, computing, technology, information around the globe. And IE has more than 396,000 plus members. What a beautiful strengthened community, in order to empower the entire electronics community, and over 160 plus countries. So, and with a highly cited publications, conferences, technology standards, and professional and educational activities, I would like to thank IEEE for giving this opportunity to our Mangalam College of Engineering, Kottayam, Kerala, India. So now I will slowly move towards nanotechnologies because I was just trying to see what is that I'm going to speak, because you all are experts in this. Because I slowly moved towards an artificial intelligence, computer science, that side. But I thought I will try to put few words which I understood. So I see that every component, because the entire globe is becoming a digital village. So in this digital village, the nano electronics is like father. See what happens in your house also. Your mother is highlighted for you because she is the end producer. She is the one who you see. But the father is on the background. He is like a hardware. So you don't see him outside. So the nano electronics is also in a similar way. It controls, it communicates, because every electronic device has a nano electronic component. Either in a device format or in a material format. So what it really means, it's kind of a heart, but invisible. You don't see it, like the air, right? You breathe, but you don't know the value of air unless until someone stop the entire air in this world, because you don't really care, because you are consuming. So it is like the nano electronics has also similar electronic component, which is not visible but very, very important ingredient to run this digital world. And some of the including the hybrid modular semiconductor electronics, nanotubes, nanowires, or advanced molecular electronics. Recently the stealth, if you see the stealth technologies, right, the kind of a nanotechnology they have used, it's a mind blowing, because you can't see that unless until you have very special devices. And that too, you need to have a kind of an electronic eye to see it. What it really means is the advancement in nanotechnologies is went towards way ahead of human. Maybe sometimes I strongly feel that this technology itself is nothing but alien technology. Because imagine, for the human, how they invented, I am still not able to understand, because it's just next to impossible to turn a small silicon sand into an electronic chip and storing millions of information. And if you open up your electronic device, I'm sure you all are empowered with nano electronics, right? Because everyone has a mobile phone. So imagine the entire world with 4.5 billion mobile subscribers, means everyone holds a nanotechnology, nano electronic device. And that kind of empowerment, that too from a small silicon, and that too that is in a periodic table in a very complex structure. I think this is kind of a very alien technology. Maybe we ourselves are aliens. That's what I strongly believe, because this kind of a technology can't even imagine. If world goes off today, then again reinventing this maybe is just next to impossible, because getting this thought itself is very difficult. So using this in a nanotechnologies, and even we went to 100 nano nm, reducing the size of the computers and increasing the computing power. Because previously, if you remember, we used to have a lot of buffers, and now in this small device, we have, I think, we can store more than GBs of information. Even in future, maybe even more, terabytes and petabytes maybe. So that kind of advancement is what we are talking about, and it is very useful to compute the information, right? Even though if you collect the information using the satellites, but somewhere we need to store and compute. I think that's where I see the nano electronics plays a major role. And coming back to I don't want to go to the CMOS components and all. I thought, maybe that is too much. So as given in a given time. So I want to move towards the market size, because everything is market driven, right? So there is an estimation, global nano electronics market size is projected up to 52,830 million by 2026. What it really means is it is going to create a job opportunity, or a research opportunity, or an innovation opportunity, or an entrepreneurship opportunity for each and every one of you. And the kind of a funding on the research and innovation happens in this field. See, there are a couple of fields where there is no innovation, there is no research, and people don't spend money on it. But here I'm so happy to see that there is lots of investments is happening on the innovation and research, which is very, very useful for the entire electronic student circle. Not only electronics, telecommunications as well as electrical engineers. And coming back to our country, as you know, in last 8 years, we have received more than 375 billion US dollars as an investment in our country, which is going to generate millions of opportunities. But who is going to work on it? Or maybe I will just come out of this page. Do you have mic? Just give me mic now. I think that's better. Maybe I'm just hiding. I think now I'm free, free bird. So I will come front and speak. See, 375 billion US dollars investments. It means almost job opportunity for every household. And imagine these are the direct opportunities. What about the indirect opportunities? Some auto wala or some bus or someone needs to, taxi fellow needs to drive you, right? And someone needs to feed you. Someone will work at your home. So millions of opportunity within our country itself. And the kind of a scale we are talking about, the nano electronics technologies are huge, and you can, if you empower here for a lesser cost, your return of investment is more than 100x. See, if you invest anywhere, in the real estate, the maximum return of investment is 11%. If you are lucky enough, like NCR region, maybe max 20%. If you do any business, there is a risk involved in it, right? But the return of investments are equal. If you put in a share market, the maximum return what is expected is the 14 to 20%. But here, what I see is with a very less investment in India, if you can become a best of the best in these nano electronics, you can work anywhere. Example, if you take in Japan or China or any US-based countries or in UK or in European nations, the kind of a salary you are going to receive as a researcher, as an innovator, as an engineer, I think it is more than 1000x of your investment. See, always you need to think from that perspective, because that is one angle. The second angle is the research opportunities in this field is just mind-blowing. When I finished my engineering, I tried my best to join in some kind of a chip making companies. I was talking to sir yesterday night. So, but we failed because that time we have a very small chip making companies in our country, and that too in a limited cities. But now Government of India opened up. They said there is something called performance linked incentives, and giving away 50,000 crores, to establish the largest, biggest chip companies in our country. So this is an opportunity, my dear friends. I think I request all of you to go through, understand, and try to become more innovators, and try to become a part of an entrepreneurship circle, part of a startup areas. Because how many years you work under someone, which is not feasible. See, maybe for 1 or 2 years for learning purpose, how to manage people, how to manage technology, how to manage the project, how to manage the process. This is the areas, which you need to learn for a year or so. So that you do it in an internship format. See, when I tried for my internship, I failed. So when I joined the Government of India, I decided the first day, I have looked into the internship portal, I scrapped it. I said, I'm just closing this, and created a new internship portal, because I myself never got an opportunity to work as an intern, because I want to do both. And just for your information, my engineering is part-time engineering. Morning times I worked in the electronics company, and on the evenings I used to go to college. So what I was thinking was, why don't we have this facility, double two-way facility to our students, where they work for industries within from their campuses itself, at the same time they finish their degree. So imagine you are going out of the college with your degree and with 6 or 7 company experiences with you. So that is where you are going to get an advantage when you go for any kind of a discussion, any kind of an interview. Imagine one Chinese, one other country citizens competing with you, and with a degree, and you are with a degree and with experience. So this is the experience what we want to give it to you, and we have created a very super fast internship portal, where you apply. It takes, if you try to load it, it loads like this. Rajnikant, right? He says, my way is highway. Finish, the entire movie is finished. The minute you do like this, it loads. You can try it out on your mobiles. And we even made it multilingual. And I request everyone to use this opportunity, and I want you all and who all are listening this, I want you all to do minimum 5 internship opportunities by the time you go out of the college. So that you will empower, you understand how industry works. And we are connected, we are happy to share that we have connected more than 49,000 industries, real-time industries from Microsoft to all kind of industries. I want you all to use that opportunity. The second one I want to tell is like Pancha Pandavas. Pandavas are only 5, right? Only 5. But they won the battle. The reason is very simple. They are focused. Only 5. So I will give you only 5. One is the internship. The second one is language. See, as most of the candidates go to Arab countries, nations, right? Try to learn that language, and then try to learn maybe Japanese. Where opportunities are plenty because we have an age demographic advantage. So they need professionals like you. So don't concentrate only on our country itself. You try to understand and analyze. What we did when I joined, as I come from an MNC background, I work in a different way, from an industry perspective. So I created a robot, to be very frank. I am not analyzed. I created one robot called Ping. Pingali, right? Who invented 1 and zeros. Most of the people even don't know. He is the father of the entire electronics. Who invented 1 and 0. I'm so fond of 1 and zeros in electronics. I used to do lots of digital electronic 8084, 8085 programming. So I have named it as Ping. And created one robot. What that robot does is it went through each and every country economics, what infrastructure projects they are doing, what kind of investments they are making, what industries they have, what industry clusters they have, what kind of projects are coming in their country. That Ping analyzed all 180 countries and came back and created a report for me. So, because as I said, I'm an AI engineer, so that it helped me. And then I understand 30 technologies are very, very important for us. And which I will share with you if you send me your email ID. Because only for interested. So, please send. I will send you that one report. I think very, very useful report. So, that's because understanding what world wants. Very, very important. Example, if you see now, the electronics are going very deep inside automobile. Recently, Nitin Gadkari, 2 days back, I was in one event. He was talking about the electronic car, not the hybrid car, electronic computer car. So the entire car runs on computer. So that kind of a cars are going to come. So what it really means is, what he mean by computer? It is nothing but electronic chips, right? So that's our product. I think, you must understand. The third one is very, very important. Understand the global requirement. I think that is missing piece in our puzzle because the student always thinks for present. We need to think for future. And the fourth one I see is, I think due to some reason we all are working like this. Notice I put this. Everyone is working individually. Example, sir is working individually, sir is working individually, I am working individually. I think we all need to work as a team. As an Indian team. I think in order to make best for ourselves only, what happens, see, if you get a better opportunity, your family will improve. Your family situation will improve. Once your family situation improves, your friends, your relatives, your district will improve. Once your district will improve, your state will improve. Obviously, it will reflect on the country level. The entire country will improve just because you did your best. So, giving that one edge is missing, my friends, in our country. Always we think for the lower end. So, when I started working, I decided every day, whatever I do, I will give my best to our students. And the fifth one, we started creating competition, then a collaboration. See, we are not working as a team. That's a missing piece in our country. Imagine when we as well as China started in 1962, our GDP is same. And now, China worked together as a team. And I appreciate what they did. Because they worked together as a team and they moved forward, right? I think, this is one missing piece in our country. I think we all need to work together. and helping each other. Not that ranking. I don't trust in this 1, 2, 3 in our Andhra. I'm from Andhra Pradesh. When I switch on the TV, they will say, our students are ranked 1, 2, 3. God knows, the same student studies in 10 colleges. I still don't understand how come he is in 10 different colleges. I mean, this ranking doesn't matter. See, I think we must adopt one simple technology from US or other methodologies. They work together as a team. I think very, very important. Even I will give you another example from Tamil Nadu. Madam is from Tamil Nadu. They fought together. See, if you fight together, you will win the battle, I'm telling you. So this is the one of the missing fields. This is the fourth one. The fifth one is thinking out of the box. I think we are limiting ourselves, our knowledge. But you please remember, if you go back, this land is a land of Parsurama. What kind of a culture, what kind of a methodologies, what kind of a brain we have. We are missing, we are forgetting that, we are our ancestors are the best of the best people. Best of the best. And we forgot that entire thing. If you go back, I give this example so many times, I will give the same example here also. Do you know Vinayaka Chauthi, right? You all maybe most of you know Vinayaka Chauthi, where we celebrate the Ganesha festival. So what is the Ganesha festival? The Ganesha festival is very simple. It's an advanced surgical operation between a human and a non-human. And attach the non-human head to a human and he is lying and roaming around. But if someone will tell you like that, no one will believe. So they translated that as a festival, they put some colors to it. So what it really means, our ancestors are so advanced in nature, and now we forgot and we are not connecting our right and left brains. Because what happens if you use only the right brain or if you use only the left brain, you will be best only in one shot. But you don't do a jugaad, which is called out of the box thinking. If you really want to empower yourself and if you want to do best of the best for yourself as well as to your society and country, you need to enable and engage both sides of your brain. That is where the national education policy comes into picture. A lot of people ask me what it means. I simply say, till now we are using only one side of the brain. From using this new national education policy, we are going to use both sides of the brain and interconnect right as well as left brain to give the best output. So this is the one missing piece which we are trying to add. So for the national education policy, we are open. We are very agile in nature. And the first thing what we did, we interacted with industries. We try to understand their needs and fine-tuned our educational policies. We ourselves also changed. Whenever I interact with the officers, when I see, the lazy buggers, I say, see, now I think you can't be lazy. We must work for our country. And every day you treat like this is your last day. You will give your best. I treat every student. We have 32 crore students in this country. Every student is my child. Now imagine for my child, do I give best or I give worse? I will try to give best to my child. So all 32 crore students, if you treat as your own children, I'm telling this to the faculty, they will give their best. So let us work like that so that we will give our best to our country, to our students. And at the same time, when we go for internal meetings, I always say we must give best not only to the students, we must give best to the faculty. So we started doing so many faculty development programs. And now slowly we are moving towards and saying we must give best to the institutes also. See what happens, all these are interconnected, connecting the dots, how Steve Jobs said, connect the dots so that you will reach the destination. I think this is what we are trying to do. As due to lack of time, I will just cut short. As I already, exceeded my time. So what I'm trying to say is, I think these 5 ingredients are secret for success for yourself. And let us try to work together. And we are agile in nature. You please contact us anytime. My thought process is always, if I do any event, I immediately go and put it on LinkedIn, here, there, everywhere. Some people ask, what are you doing? I said, see, this awareness is missing in our country. Today I am doing this event here. What happens to the other? I know some 500 colleges or more than that. They will think, hey, Mangalam College in Kerala, they did one very big event in IEEE, electronics event. Let me do something else. Now we are coming up with one simple thing called ABC. ABCDE actually. A means Artificial Intelligence for India. AI for India. B means Blockchain for India. C means cyber security for India. D means digital data analytics and data intelligence for India. E means electronics for India. I think, again we need to go back to the same ABCD which we learnt, when we are kids. So this ABCDE will fulfill most of the requirements, because without these 5 ingredients, the world doesn't move forward. If you know these 5 ingredients, I think you can become a best of the best cook, whatever, irrespective of the sector you are going to work. So by saying that, I wish best of luck to everyone. If you have any questions or concerns, we are open, and let us all work together. And by when I come next time, I want to see this as 100 pages. Because now I see only 18 pages. Why only 18? Let us have 100 pages. Let us make it bigger. With 10,000 people, where we can't even accommodate, we will have one thing outside. So I think always try to improve. So now I'm giving a task to all of you, Subhaji and sir. Next time we will do this outside, this event next year, with 10,000 electronics students across the world. I think this is what I would like to close with this. And I'm missing this tour boat which they planned tomorrow, because today I'm leaving. I have another event in that place. But one last thing I would like to close. Always think out of the box. I think the patenting percentage in our country is a very sad, less than 1.2%. And when I did my engineering from India, then MBA from USA, so the last day of MBA, there was awarding. So I have taken that degree and and spent, oh my God, I spent some $50,000 and learned nothing. Last day they gave a book. They said, what, this book has every solution for the problem. I said, oh my God, what kind of book is this? So I rushed to restroom just to see what is that book. I was shocked. They have gave me Mahabharata book. My grandmother, when I'm 8 years old, she taught me the same Mahabharata, but we have taken it as a religious book. But the matter of the fact is, Sri Krishna is the best of the best project manager. He finished this entire Mahabharata in 18 days. Time management. He knows who is the competitor, he knows who is his side. He knows the stakeholder management. He knows the risk mitigation, because every day you need to feed more than 50 lakh people, for the Mahabharata fighting. He knows if he exceeds for more than 18 days, he can't survive. The risk management. And if Krishna himself fought, then the entire globe will get destroyed. So he never fought, so he controlled himself. Capacity management, resource management, and the technology also. If you see the kind of a war happened, it's a kind of almost kind of a nuclear war with various weapons. Whether it happened or not, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that book, which has all these ingredients which you want. I want you to read that book as a management perspective. Just for your information, Shekuni is also project manager, but on the other side of the coin. So you will understand these dimensions very well. I request you all to try to read that book from a management point of view, not from a religious point of view. If you read that book, it has every solution. What I'm doing when I see a very complex scenario which I'm not able to solve, I will close my eyes, open some page and start reading. What it does, very simple. It opens up your both sides of the brain. And it will make sure your computer operating system work on the solution, not on the problem. That's it. So always try to focus on the problem, so that book will help you to concentrate and focus. So by saying that, I wish everyone best of luck, and let us all work together. And when you visit Delhi, you please do come to our office. We are doing so many programs. I handle some 40 plus projects. So I'm happy to share. And one last project which we worked recently is we have created artificial intelligence learning, the deep learning tool, which translates English books into 12 Indian languages, including Malayalam. Because most of the students are from remote village areas. They are not able to directly cope up with English. So imagine you have an English copy of the book and a Malayalam copy of the book. So don't you think your understanding level will increase? Your skill capabilities, everything will increase, right? So we have created a tool and patented it for every Indian, so that you are going to use it for free. As of now, we translated engineering first year books, diploma first year books, 12 plus skill council books. Now we are translating IGNO and various other books. So I request you also get one copy of it. Because what happens, I will tell you, I have seen in my class one best of the best student. I always used to think I will come second because he is the best of the best. But I realized after the first semester exam, he is not good in English because he comes from a very small remote village. He is very good in all others, but in English he used to get 35, 36 like that. So I always used to come just because of that one reason. So I still remember him just because he's a brilliant. Our village students are the best of the best, I'm telling you, best of the best. The only problem is the language barrier. So we have created these two books slowly till you adopt English. You can read it and understand it better, churn it and try to, use it for your social good. Thank you very much and best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Now, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Srimati R. Prabhavati, Scientist G, Additional Director, Electrical, Combat Vehicles Research and Development Establishment, Defense Research and Development Organization, Ministry of Defense, Government of India. Presently, she is Additional Director of Electrical Division. She is also the Project Director for Development of State-of-the-Art technologies like Intelligent Power Management System, Dual Voltage Generating System, and Hybrid Fiber Optic Rotary Joints for
Respected Dr. Biju Varghese, Chief Guest of today's function, Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Special Guest, Dr. Manna, Dean, Dr. Radhakrishnan, and Dr. Subhash, the guest speakers, the participants, a very good morning to all of you. Not even one good morning, please? Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to be in the God's own country to attend this conference in person, almost after 2 years of this pandemic. Last conference I attended was somewhere in 2020, that was in February. I should extend my special thanks to Dr. Subhash for inviting me so that I can be part of this function here. I represent an organization called DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization, which is coming under Ministry of Defense. Many of you might be knowing because there's a lab in Cochin, NPOL. DRDO was started in the year 1958 with only 10 labs, with only self-reliance as the motto. Now we are spread into more than 50 labs spread across the entire country, working in different disciplines like aeronautics, combat vehicles and engineering, under which I come from, electronics and computer science, naval science and materials, missiles and strategic systems. Apart from all these things, it's not only the war machines that need to, because we do services for the tri-service, that is Army, Navy and Air Force. So we have a life sciences department which take care of the men, because behind any weapon you need men. So they take care of how to recruit, what kind of people we need behind the machines. Not only that, we have in country, we have adversaries. We have been hearing like what kind of adversaries, and in fact recent Ukraine war, what kind of situation we are in. So straight from the Leh, Ladakh, to even to the Rajasthan, Jaisalmer, so that kind of an environment in which our soldiers need to work. So the trainings are imparted to them, and situations like how to get them accommodation situation there. Not only that, what food they need to eat and what dresses they need to wear, depending on the area, depending on the war machines. And also in Leh, we have a lab for just educating the farmers around how to cultivate even brinjals and tomatoes and potatoes in that weather conditions, how to store them. Not only that, we have a lab at Mysore, Defense Food Research Lab, which even given the TOT, Transfer Technology, to MTR. Many of us might be knowing that ready to eat from MTR. So the transfer technology was given by DRDO. So this coming to this DRDO, not only the war machines, we are into aerospace, doing the light vehicle aircraft, and then missiles like Prithvi, Akash, and underwater. We need take care of the threat coming underwater also, to the torpedoes, the sonars. Then we have electronic warfare. Depending on the locality also, we have many of the electronics labs situated at Bangalore, missile lab at Hyderabad, and we have studies from Chandigarh itself. So we have a lab at Chandigarh also. They're into ornaments, and we have some research labs. So especially coming to CVRD, this is CVRD's Combat Vehicles Research and Development Institute, which I come from. So we do the combat vehicles. You would have seen in the RD parade of India, the main battle tank Arjun. So I work in the electrical system of the particular vehicle. We in CVRD Avadi, Chennai, we design, develop, performance evaluate, and hand over the production knowledge to the production agencies. So far, 124 numbers of Arjun MBTs were already handed over to the Indian Army. There are 2 regiments right now in Jaisalmer. We have now gone in for the next version of the Arjun MBT, Mark 1 Alpha, with many improvements like missile firing from a tank, armored fighting vehicle, and many other like mine plow, many other improvements. With that, we just got an Indian for Arjun MBT Mark 1 Alpha. Other than that, we are also into tele-operation of these fighting vehicles, especially when we need to work in the border areas. We can't be risking sending our men. So we have tele-operated vehicles. So we work in more than 40-ton category in Avadi. So these stands, like one will be a center, and we have payloads such as surveillance, mine plows, mine detections, and also for nuclear, biological and chemical weapon threat. These kind of areas we are working. Not only in Arjun main battle tank, we are also having a repair and recovery vehicle. So we have, suppose we are having a Maruti or a Hyundai or any other cars, we have service centers all around. So suppose our tanks are somewhere in the borders, some system has gone down, you need some services. So as part of the armored vehicle itself, we have repair and recovery, which has a winch, which has a crane, and all the repair equipments is part of the vehicle. So that is also CVRD is taking care. Not only Indian origin MBT Arjuns, we are also dealing with T-72 and T-90, basically Russian origin vehicles. We have a licensed production by our heavy vehicles factory at Avadi. So we are also doing upgradation for those vehicles. These are the jobs what CVRD has been doing. Coming to the tank systems, you might be knowing the cars, what kind of horsepower is required. Whereas in the armored fighting vehicle, in Arjun, we have 1400 HP engine. Like in any automotive vehicle, tank also has electrical requirement, because basically any diesel engine need to be started with a starter motor. So we take care of the requirement, like we have 440 ampere hour batteries inside the tank. So we have a starter motor, it starts the engine. Then we have 20 kilowatt generator, which just generates electrical power. So we need to take care of the distribution of the power to the various other systems which needs power. You would have seen that, I'm sorry, I should have brought some videos to show you, because there's a moving part and a stationary part in the tank. One will be just moving on the road, the other one is on the top, which has got a weapon system which will be rotating. So very challenging task is to transfer the signals and the power from the moving stationary part to the rotating part. We have slip rings, copper slip rings. We are now in the future we are going in for the fiber optic slip rings, so that the control signals and the power can be transmitted from the, we call it hull, onto the turret. So these are the kind of systems what we are working right now. And coming to this topic today, of course I am not from nanotechnology area, but still there are some nanotechnology activities that are being held out at CVRDE. One is engine nanocoolants. The thermal conductivity of carbon nanotubes and silver nanoparticles are significantly higher than the bulk forms. Research has been carried out for the development of a better engine coolant using these nanomaterials in the conventional coolant medium. The developed nanocoolants have been tested in the heat exchanger test rig for evaluation of heat transfer applications. The next one is a nano lubricants. The tungsten disulfide and molybdenum sulfide nanoparticles have excellent wear-resistant properties and low coefficient of friction. The above nanolubricants were developed, test evaluated in our armored fighting vehicle engines. Like the sir was mentioning, there's a waste heat recovery using thermoelectric thin films. For that also activities. All these things, we have a separate team of people doing this activity along with academic experts. Then we also have aluminium nanocomposites for structural applications. The nanoparticles of boron nitride are added to the aluminium matrix to get improved strength, better heat dissipation and weight reduction. This type of metal matrix composites has application in the replacement of existing bulk aluminium-based suspension pistons and other components. We have wear resistance coatings for high-speed aircraft bearings. In addition to the combat things, at CVRD, we are also into the aircraft projects. For the light combat aircraft, we have developed aircraft mounted accessory gearbox, and we also developed some bearings, PTO shaft. So for all these applications, because it's going into space, when it's on the land, the weight restrictions is not that much, whereas in space, you have a lot of weight restrictions. So the team is working on that area also. So nanostructured thermal barrier coatings. And also we are onto EMI shielding application, especially there in the military platform. We can't allow any interference systems. So people have developed CNT based polymer nanocomposites for EMI shielding applications also. So after hearing Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, I felt that too, especially when he talked about the 5 ingredients, I felt that I should go back to the college and start afresh again. So that's the kind of input he has given. Thank you so much for the opportunity given to me, and I wish all the participants a very happy learning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your work. I am honored to invite our special guest, Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, San Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology, Punjab. Sir, please.
Thank you. So you already came to know that there is no need to read the biodata because time is already very short, and what basically the inauguration session supposed to be, I think, is completed by our honorable chief guest of the day, because his name is Dr. Buddha. Everything is here. 200 kilometers aura of Buddha. You know, 200 kilometers of aura. I think you know aura. Thanks. Mr. Putin, you have not read our Mahabharata, otherwise you could have not taken these many days. That's great. Yes. We are rich of values, rich of material, but sometimes, unfortunately, with nano thoughts. Thoughts should be for mega and giga. Work should be for the nano. That should be the point. Thought should be for mega and giga. Ma'am already have explained well about DRDO, and I would like to add one more thing. DRDO is the great body for my country, India, to save us inside and outside, but they are also giving a shelter. You know, the best building in New Delhi for AICT is given by DRDO, and they got a first prize for the best building of worth of 257 crores of rupees. And we enjoyed that building, and my colleague is now presently enjoying that building ambience. It is awarded. Yes. So, dear friends, and all my respected speakers, faculty members, some are asked to be sit here for the attendance. They are with the proper dress. and some they were hiding their smile and their sudden breaking laugh of girls. It happens in the classroom, and here also she was just laughing and it came out. Please do laugh. Please do laugh. The biggest thing in the campus which is still missing is the happiness index. We should always be happy for what we are doing. This conference, this degree, this MTech, this PhD. End of the day, for what we are doing. Are we going to carry something with us to the next part? No. We are for this gola, we are for this particular planet, we are here only. After that, we have to have some other way. That's what is written in our, granthas and shastras. Gobind Milan ki eho teri bariya. It is the only time to achieve that enlightenment. That enlightenment which comes from your inner happiness. So I'm not talking something about the nanotechnology during this inaugural session because already you have a very good technological stuff with you and you are not even making notes. So I thought, let you come in my class for the keynote address. I will bore you for 40 minutes, not now here. So yes, because whenever we go to the conference, the paper presenters, they are, I have to have 5th slide, I have to have 16 slides. And the students, I have to check my WhatsApp, still it's in the conference room. I'm coming out, I got stuck because Subhash sir said, you will not get sessional marks if you will not come to the conference room because hall bharo. It is one of the biggest assignment to the institutions when you have to fill the hall for this kind of sessions. Yes, it is everywhere, not here, it is everywhere. But sometimes you will realize that by choice or by force, you came inside this particular auditorium. And when you go out after 65 minutes or 70 minutes of this sitting, you may say to your colleagues, your peers, your friends, you missed something. What is that? Aura. When some person who made a chip as a life and he was putting a necklace of the chip, that makes a true motivation to make him as a role model in your life. That's the beauty. He started his journey from that level and he reached to the chief coordinating. You know what is a chief coordinating? He's coordinating my all 32 crores of my children of my country because he's giving this kind of fruits to you. And I can understand what kind of satisfaction he's having doing this kind of job. He's not doing any file work over there. He's not going ministry here and there to please some ministers or some MPs or MLA. No. He's corely working for you. The same when I started my journey for SWAM. I told to R. Subramaniam sir, my mentor, to Anil D. Sastra-Buddheji, sir, I think one job I did for my country, that's it. That's it. I'm so satisfied that my country students will get our online solutions now. And that's what we are getting it. And it was so timely came. During COVID, we could not miss a single academic year. None of the institutions declare a zero academic year during this pandemic because all students were very much happily to take in the credits even from the online stuff. And this is the beauty of the innovation. And innovation comes not by force. Innovation can't be taught by books and by lectures. It comes with the teeny minds, with the mega thoughts. So the 3 words I'm just going to be conclude here. Whenever you walk, and especially when you're going to sleep at night, that last 10 minutes before you go to sleep, I think generally you do recall your day activities and you sometimes do the strategy for the next day. Same time, some kind of ideas comes in your mind because it's a peace mind. Do write a single line even. That's it. Have a small writing pad in your pocket every time if you are a true learner. Whenever you're walking around, you're chatting around, you're eating around, you will see, this can be like this design can be like this, chairs can be like this. Please do write. That is called your think. Immediately convert it to ink. Until unless you will convert to the ink, it can't be get a link. So think, ink, then link. The linkage, we all are here. I openly, it's recorded. Any student sitting over here or listening online, on the behalf of Government of India, on the behalf of myself as an individual, I will help you to get your design patent within 60 days from the IPR of India if you will come with a true mentee structure to your mentor like me or maybe Dr. Subhash or Dr. Buddha or ma'am. or even the chairman of this institution. We all are here, but idea should be yours. And idea comes from the age of 14 to 24. After that, no idea, cut and paste, copy and paste. This is what, how many PhDs are happening in my country, and just irrespective of that, how many patents are happening in my country? This is what he mentioned. Thousands of PhDs we are doing because we are in the race to become a professor tag. We are doing PhD. This is a forced PhD. This is not the innovated PhD. This is not the innovation PhD. But unfortunate part, sometimes we do forget to distinguish the teaching institutions versus the research institutions. So everybody is in the same race to get the SCI papers published. And then we realize, oh, I already published the paper, I can't go for the patent now because novelty has been broken. Yes, we need SCI papers. We need IEEE transactions, but not from the 100 teachers. Let the 20 teachers do the research. My 80 teachers should be busy in the classroom with the students, not for the other kind of job. Because if the true teaching is missing, research may not come. If teaching is happening, research is a byproduct of teaching. And innovative minds, that's what the full name, I took 3 months to be driving it out because Madam Smriti Irani ji given a Hindi word SWAM. We wrote in English SWAYM. So sir, what should be this? That's why I was invited to UNO headquarters to be explained. Oh, everybody has a MOOCs, K-MOOCs, J-MOOCs, what this India has started SWAM. Then I went there. It was Government of India representing. Study webs of active learning, young aspiring minds. That's the SWAM. And we should understand it. We should not waste it out a nano component of your mind which is sparking you. But for the nanotechnology, if you are doing research, you should have a giga patience, mega literature, and of course, potential is terra. You are going to have a huge potential as a startup in my country. We started this journey 727 when we published first AICTE policy of startup through our honorable president of the country in 2016. And today we could reach to the level of 61,823 registered startups for my country, India. I'm really proud to be Indian. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your works. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can reach excellence. Now, I would like to invite Dr. R. Radhakrishnan, Dean, Mangalam Group of Education, for the felicitation. Sir, please.
Good morning and warm welcome everybody. Chairman of the college, Dr. Biju Varghese, esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Chief Coordinating Officer IICT, a guest of honor, Mrs. R. Prabhavati, Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, Dr. T.D. Subhash, and the guests from India and abroad, dignitaries on the stage, dear participants, and my friend Sai Chandran and team for live streaming. Greetings to all participants from Mangalam College of Engineering. It is hoped that research study on the implication and application of the subject matter of the conference will be developed with view to attract succeeding generation so that our nation and the world as a whole can be brought to a highly sophisticated level of technology covering the subject matter of the conference. Even during this pandemic situation, as our chief guest of the day, Dr. Buddha was saying, we have to live along with the COVID now. The number of research conferences at international level discussed and addressed new challenges of the technology world around us. I am sure that the conference and the publication of the research journals will aim at fostering a wider understanding of the upcoming challenges that may lead to develop a roadmap to the solutions. And I do hope that the international conference will make way for providing sound solutions to key questions likely to arise in the conference, which will be manifested for fabulous publication. The participants should have a strong emphasis on concrete, empirical and theoretical studies on contemporary issues that was mentioned by the chief guest of the day, that in turn must be reflected as your publication. All research works published in connection with the conference should contain authority and authentication. I would like to appreciate all the organizers of the team led by Dr. T.D. Subhash for the adherent efforts taken towards making this mission a great event. Research is particularly a way of asking questions as to mysteries of any matter sought for. As we know, the world is increasingly seeking to understand us and roaming how to value what we do. Let me wish that this conference may be the beginning of an ongoing approbation and venture. However, it is astounding to see that our technology has been absent before the coronavirus. But it's also a hope that technology will address such challenges within a short time, and we can therefore get rid of all the hurdles or obstacles within a short period of time. Once more, I appreciate the entire team for great services being rendered for the augmentation of our institution. And furthermore, you are Lord, and wish you all the success. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now, for launching the IEEE 5NANO2023 website, I would like to welcome Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Chief Coordinating Officer, AICTE. Sir, please.
Counter starts now.
Thank you, sir. And now, moving on to the moment of releasing the proceedings and brochure of 5NANO2023. For that, I would like to invite Chairman Shri Biju Varghese to hand over the hard copy of 5NANO2022 proceedings to Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Chief Coordinating Officer, AICTE. Sir, please. Thank you, sir. Now, I humbly request our Dean, Dr. R. Radhakrishnan, to release and hand over the soft copy of 5NANO2022 to Prabhavati ma'am. Sir, please. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I cordially invite our chairman, Shri Biju Varghese, to release and hand over the brochure of 5NANO2023 to Srimati R. Prabhavati. So, please. Thank you, ma'am. I am extremely grateful to announce that our IEEE Photonics Society Student Chapter, Mangalam College of Engineering, has received the Most Improved Chapter Award for the year 2021. I invite Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, Chair of Prakash Bharati, a consortium of Indian photonics members, to hand over IEEE Photonics Award to Mangalam, and I request our Chairman, Shri Biju Varghese, to receive the award. So please.
It's really great. And it's a great honor for me to be here, sir. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite our chairman, Shri Biju Varghese, to honor our chief guest, Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Chief Coordinating Officer, ASCTE. So, please. Thank you, sir. Next, I request Dr. R. Radhakrishnan to hand over the memento to our Chief Guest of Honor, Srimati R. Prabhavati. So, please. I invite our chairman to hand over the memento to our special guest, Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna. So, please. Now, I invite Radhakrishnan sir to honor keynote speaker, Dr. S.K. Tripathi. Now, let me invite our chairman to hand over the memento to Professor Titus Isaac. So, please. Thank you, sir. In ordinary life, we hardly realize that we receive a great deal more than we give, and that it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Afsi Bashir, Chair, IEEE Photonic Society, Student Chapter, Mangalam College of Engineering, for the vote of thanks. Afsi, please.
Respected dignitaries, owners of the dais, keynote speakers, session chairs, participants, and my colleagues. A warm good morning to all. It's a privilege and great joy for me to extend my gratitude on behalf of IEEE Photonic Society, Student Chapter of Mangalam College of Engineering. Saying thank you is more than good manners, it is good spirituality. First and foremost, I thank the management of Mangalam College of Engineering for the immense support provided for the conference. I extend my heartfelt gratitude towards Dr. Biju Varghese, Chairman of Mangalam College of Engineering. I must say that his incredible leadership, timely and proper advice has been indispensable for us to work on this event. Thank you, sir. I extend my sincere gratitude towards Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, Chief Coordinating Officer, AICTE, for gracing this occasion and inaugurating the conference. Thank you, sir. Next, I convey my gratitude towards our guest of honor, Srimati R. Prabhavati, Additional Director, CBRDE DRDO, Government of India. We are very thankful to you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and spending her valuable time with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to express my gratitude towards Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, former Director, AICTE. We are excited that he will be staying with us for another 3 days. Thank you, sir. And I am grateful to Dr. R. Radhakrishnan, Dean of Mangalam College of Engineering, for his encouragement and extensive support. I extend my gratitude towards Lieutenant Dr. T.D. Subhash, Global Strategy Representative of India, Conference Organizing Chair. We cannot ignore his immense contribution, minute-to-minute guidance and support, which make this event possible. Thank you so much, sir. For every successful conference, the website plays a vital role. My sincere thanks goes to the webmaster, Professor Type Test from Karunya University, Coimbatore. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to thank all the keynote speakers and session chairs for accepting our invitation and travel here to share their knowledge and experience with us. I am pretty sure that the participants will be benefited from them. And my sincere thanks goes to all the active participants who are the reason for this event. Now, I am thankful to all the head of the departments, faculty members for rendering us with all possible support towards organizing this event. At last, I appreciate all the volunteers, NCC cadets, for spending their time effectively contributing for the same. Once again, I thank each and everyone whose contribution has made this conference a great success. Wishing you all a memorable and pleasant stay at Mangalam campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Afsi. So, our inaugural session is over. Now, let's have a tea break for 10 minutes. And after that, we are having keynote address. Thank you.
Nanotechnology is the design, production and application of materials, devices, system by controlling shape and size to what? Nanoscale. That matters a lot. Today, whatever we are talking about, something is a compactness. Design compactness. When it is a compact, it's going to be more reliable, easy to carry, easy to service, easy to maintain, and of course, cost effectiveness, because less material is required to be fabricating, manufacturing, or something like that. So it is a nano. Next, please, quickly. Nanoscale materials contains the nanoparticles. Of course, then it comes the materials, something like materials. We started Ohm's law. I studied the book B.L. Thareja. You might have studied the book B.L. Thareja. Ohm's law was the very first law we used to be teach in our electrical and electronics engineering or even a communication engineering. What we were studying that time? The failures of the Ohm's law. No linear devices, diodes and transistors. Today, we don't have to teach diodes and transistors in the class. Ohm's law never is going to be get replaced with any new law. It is remain the law, but their applications and their failures are going to be changed. It is CNTs now. We have to talk something about cathode nanotubes, something like that. So teaching still diodes means we are teaching a steam engineering class, but we asked to be a bullet train to be run in the country. That should be the shift. Transition is required because very soon we are going to touch pico. Today we are talking about the nano, 5 nano. I doubt in the next year when we are meeting across, it may be a pico conference. And we have to talk about the pico conference. If we are not visionary for the pico today, the moment some other will take a lead, then again we will be in the backside on the race. We have to think about that. Next, okay. Look at the complete platter. Even you will not serving this type of platter. You go to any one of the best hotel in this country, they have 5 to 6 dishes in one veg platter or maybe non-veg platter. But your technology, your science have given such a huge, whatever you want to choose in your life to be your career, either as a startup or a R&D or an engineer or even a teacher. You can pick even a reinforced plastics, functional nano composites, a food processing. Today, in a food industry, the biggest role, I believe, for the preservations, for the packaging, and to make it a servable, presentable. You talk about the people like Zomato or Swiggy, etc. What kind of the packages? You know that the girl, 24 years girl, she was earning a 6 lakhs rupees per month for E&Y. She left her job and she started manufacturing that paper you are getting in the subway, you know, that paper wrap, the brown color paper stuff, because of nanoparticles. She thought of it. What kind of paper I should use which should be hygiene enough and should not give its own bad effects to my food, because end of the day it's a paper wrap. I still remember the time when my mother used to be wrap my chapati for my lunch box. She used to bring a cotton paper, a cotton, simple white cotton, you know. Today we started a foil paper. And now we realize, after 10 years using a foil paper, we realized, oh, it's a cancerous. We should not. We are using ovens. We immediately shipped out to OTGs. What is that? We are taking time staying back to one particular technology. The pager comes and pager goes, and the mobile came and the smartphone comes. The stay matters a lot. If we are staying to continue to one technology without understand their ill effects, I think more we are the users, more we are going to be immune to have that bad effects. This is what the nano says, the UV blocking coatings, antimicrobial coatings. It matters a lot. We are covering. Today, I'm wearing a sunglass. You must be wearing a sunglass. Do you know that this, my one sunglass, can be my computer screen, can be my anti-glare glass, can be my lens for my chroma, my any kind of defects, and not even that, if I'm wearing this, any kind of a corona site of things comes, this area is the mask, because input, we have the 5 input, gates on our body. You understand it well. It's a biology. You are covering 3. What about others? For me, I'm lucky I'm wearing turbans. Okay, my this ears also got blocked and I could be saved. But do we have this kind of mask? Because the virus, the bacteria can travel to your body by some gates only, the holes only. So this is the one eyes, the most, what kind of the eye flu, etc. Nanoparticles, I'm wearing this glass. When I came out from my car, which is running AC, immediately, I can't see even you. I have to remove it because the complete fog. I put a mask, I take a breath, I can't see you because it's a foggy. This is the material giving these solutions, and the patent is working on this. There will be no fog. This is the nano. This is the nanoparticles, nanomaterials. Come please, next please. Look at here. We do eat, and I came to know that your honorable chairman's daughter, she did aerospace engineering from US. Now she's back. I think she's working some organic farming here, maybe as a passion. She's doing. This is what I just came to know from Dr. Biju. What is that? Agriculture. And today's agriculture, which because of agriculture we are listening to each other. We are able to sit over here because of the food which we are taking. And in this agriculture, and today pesticides, so many sprays we are making. Come to my Punjab, you will see it's a hell of like things. We are even burning paddy and creating a smoke like anything. Can't we have the solutions? Yes, we have the solutions. Look at here. The research needed to be make it the technology available at the farmers level, and the role of transparent regulatory system should be there. I'm touching not only the technology part, I'm touching the policy part also. Where we have a very important ministry, Ministry of Skill and Development and Empowerment, Ministry of Social Justice, Ministry of Science and Technology, I think it should be a complete vertical branch for the Ministry of Nanotechnology. That's a huge potential in nanotechnology. You believe it or you not, but this is the reality. You talk any latest, machine learning, deep learning, IoT, blockchain, everything, it comes out from there only. It comes out from there only. That's fact. Look at the make technology easily adaptable to the farmers, scientists to developing. Today, we talk about the tractors everywhere. In one village, 60 tractors. Can't we have the 4 Ola tractors? That's it. 4 Ola tractors. We don't have the Ola tractors and Ola ambulance in my country, but we have the Ola for the kitty parties, for going a restaurant, for going airport. The solution for the leisure life. And at the time when came, even my country, there was a scarcity of the wood fires in Delhi. They said, sir, bodies are much more than the fuel we have in the ground where we burn the bodies. This is what happened. You have seen from your naked eyes, I too have seen from my naked eyes. Nanoparticles cannot be seen from the naked eye, but the missing of the nanoparticles research in my country, I could see on my TV channels when the bodies were burning like anything. Even they don't have the wood to burn, they just thrown in the river like Gangaji. Many bodies has been found just floating. I think you have read the news. You might have seen. And this one of the state was the worst affected other than Maharashtra in my country. Reason is we don't understand these teeny particles, things do affect the globe. This is what very important. Look at here next please. The use of nanotechnology to enhance the crop productivity can be locally viable strategy for the farmers. Diversification of the crops. And what kind of the soil technology we do? The soil we are going to get the manure from one area. Can you believe it? A one tablet, we give it to one human being and he lives for 3 days in a satellite, in a antriksh. One tablet. Because we don't have the space where he is to pass his natural call. We can't have a more water to drink because he can't carry, He's in the satellite for years. Can't we have this kind of a tablet for my soil where we are growing crops like anything instead of putting a poison everywhere? It's not a poison which we are giving to our scientist. He's a great scientist who is going to the satellite, So we have to think in a positive way for the nanoparticles for the farming so that tomorrow whatever we are fetching our children, the wheat, the rice, the vegetables, the fruits, we should feel happy like he's getting all the vitamins, all the minerals, which we're supposed to be having a mango 20 years back, but not today. Some of the particular vegetables today, the openly scientist says, please, better you don't eat. In my Punjab, now we generally says, don't fetch milk to your children. I'm sorry to say, don't fetch a buffalo milk to your children. Because they are putting so kind of injections to be just get yield of the milking of from that cow. It's just a poison. But they can't add some nanomaterials, herbs to their diet of the cow so that they yield a very good milk. We used to have 20 years, 30 years or 50 years back. This is the call for the scientists today, those are attending this kind of conference. Next please. Biomedical area. Just read each and every word, you will come to know the biomedical devices because most biological systems are nanoized. Why this is nanotubes, liposomes, metallic surfaces. You talk about the antigen, interaction, reactor, ligands, interaction, DNA. It's amazing. What's happening today, DNA? We are using as a computer, supercomputers, a memory. You don't have to buy the SD drive, flash drives. We started this from the big room level memory storage devices. Room level, yes. The first computer IBM, could you see? He used to use a scooter. That is a scooter toy to be putting a knob here and there. Just see, it's available YouTube. And today we have a supercomputer. So this one button of shirt is going to be act as one of the complete CPU of my computer. And this specs which I'm wearing is my monitor. I'm looking and doing and my hands are doing all this, on the way everywhere. I'm clicking right click, left click. Next time when I will be coming over here, I don't think I need this kind of stuff. I'll be having my own stuff with me. Just taking my mobile out and just putting a flashlight and everything will be there. This is what the technology and how it could be possible. Chip designing. And who will do this chip designing? Today, Motorola started the life. Where is the Motorola today? Why we talk about Intel? Because Intel could transform, Intel could understand the technology shift and to nanotechnology. That's the chip designing. The silicon lab is there in Mohali. But are they coming in the news today? The SCL is the most important lab, was used to be in Mohali 20 years back. Lab is still there. It's a Government of India undertaking. It can't go anywhere. It's a salary based. What about the chip designing? Why all the time the chips are coming from the outside India? And today, you say it's a third world war. Who said it's an oil war? No, it's not oil war. It's your chip war. Many of the automobiles industries are just crying they can't take their vehicle out because it's a chip-based vehicle and chip cost is 40% shoot up because of Ukraine war. This is what happening. Because we don't have the diversification of the production. We need the nano labs in every state. I believe in every state we should have the nano labs. We should have but this is what Dr. Buddha says, chip designing, chip fabrication is most important. And it's purely nano. It's a purely nano. Yes, next please. The drug delivery. In my country, you say we have the shortage of doctors? No. We have the shortage of medicine? Not at all. We are the second manufacturer in this world. And we have given the vaccination the record period. The whole world, WHO, recognized, endorsed. What is that? Technology is somewhere there. Patient is lying here. How to reach telemedicine? How to make a blockchain? Expiry medicines are still lying in the stores, medical stores. How it can be possible? Why expiry medicine? Because no tagging, no geotagging. This is purely a technology and it's a nanotechnology starting from the geotag. And you know that medicines which we are talking today, we used to have 14 injections with a dog bite 10 years back. Today, I think one injection is more than sufficient because of nanoparticles. And this is the journey we are moving. And the ideal wavelengths of the light of infrared is going to be somewhere. So this is one of the nanoshells I am talking over here. What about the drug delivery? The delivery is most important. You have a huge container of the drugs there, but I am dying here. What is the fun to have there? It's not reaching to my place where I am dying. Just like talk about oxygen. In many rural areas, there was a huge plants for the oxygen production. Unfortunate part was we never thought of that. It is an industrial oxygen. We want the human oxygen, biological oxygen, medicated oxygen, and small one protocols to be maintained to be make this is a human used oxygen. Although every industry they have the oxygen plants. Yes, they have. Because of the thermal heating or any kind of functioning or pressing, etc. These technologies do help with the small components adding to their existing system in a protocol. We can make it a more viable, more usable or multifunctional concepts. This is what. Next please. Magnetic nanoparticles. Drug are bound to be magnetic. This I just can't imagine. We are looking from my childhood. There is one flower is called a sunflower. I hope you are about this. You put anywhere in even a pot or maybe in the field, you see wherever the sun moves, tu jahan chalega mera saya saath hoga, something like that. Why it's moving? This is what the magnetic field. If sun is such a huge miles away, still can attract a small tiny flower. Can't we make this kind of technology? I am sitting here, I can heal a person sitting somewhere in Bengaluru, called Reiki. This is what was available in our Shastras. But patent could not happen to my country, India. It's a purely a nanotechnology driven or a pico technology driven. What? Tools? Not can't be seen by naked eyes. Surgery happens. Your stone removes from your body. Your cancer is removed from your body, but without touching any scissors and blades. Yes, you may doubt it, but you browse it. You will find it. It is very much available. It was available in our documents, but they are practicing. We just only wrap the documents, we put a agarbatti, we put a jyoti, and we say, yes, we are very much having a great faith, believe in my religion. I am doing puja daily. Just reciting the mantras, not implementing the mantras in a science and technology. This is what the nano thought that I told. Thought should be mega, work should be on the nano part. Yes, next please. Cancer wire detection. In my state Punjab, there is a one special train goes to Bikaner, Rajasthan. We call it train as a cancer train. Do you know that? You can Google it out. Can you imagine how many cancer patients in one state do travel to get that treatment in Bikaner? That is in Rajasthan, sorry, not Gujarat, Rajasthan. And because of the containment in the water and the refineries there in Bathinda, thanks to refinery to be creating this containment, the huge containment, we could not dissolve the nanoparticles to absorb the impurity and concentrate in one area to be drain it out, because we are not putting our mind over there. And all we know that the gold nanoparticles and nanodots and nanowires can help us even to detect the cancers. And today the PET scan is still very costly. It's a very costly affair. We know the technology. We are not the implementers. Sometimes we become a very good teachers or good researchers. And there is no need for the good teachers and researchers until unless we do not have the good experimenters, implementers. And then we become the users. Until unless you do implement the technology on a ground level, and thanks to the simulation world, what little handy, we have the great all hand talents in my country, whether it's designing, whether it's architecture, whether it's embroidery, we are losing a shine because we are in the simulation world. We are very much happy to be run the simulation, and my 80% of the PhDs in science and technology, I'm sorry to say, add over here in my country, India, all based on the simulation results of the softwares. Nobody's actually manufacturing or fabricating the satellites. And then we show the photograph of the history. Sir, first satellite, he was carrying something out the cycle, bicycle, sir, Aryabhatta. He was carrying on the bicycle. At that time, he was carrying on the bicycle. You have a motor car, man. You have a Mercedes. Can't you still carry the steel and you can do the nano satellite? Just think of the nano satellite. It's the future. You're talking about drones. It is even going to be 1/100th size of the drone. It will be a satellite, which will be capturing all the photographs which you are looking from the moon, sun, or any planet. Or to make your mobile phones, not even a smartphones, they are going to be a satellite phones. Much cheaper, much easier if you talk something about the nano satellites. Think of it. Think of it. Think mega. Work on nano. This is what I want to say. Next, please. Silicon nanowires. Similar in use of nanotubes, antibodies attached to wire current changes. If I talk today, we have a huge transmission lines going from here to there, 66 kV. Oh, we can't buy a piece of land because the high tension, no factory, no school, no college, no residence, no mall can be open, sir, high tension, because my mobile signals will lost, and sometimes lightning stroke can happen, anything, So huge land in my country is unutilized because wherever there is a high tension, and we don't have the substitute. If I'll talk today, there is no wire and still electricity at your home, you will laugh on me. Sir, what you are talking? The same thing if I could have been spoken 20 years back, I have something in my pocket, and look at, I could send to you in your pocket, like a jadugar, magician. Oh, great. You send me this picture. How come? No wire connected. No putting in my pocket. I could get it. They could have to laugh 30 years back. Mr. India, when I saw Mr. India, wristwatch. We were kids, but we enjoyed. There is some kind of wristwatch. And still we are looking for that wristwatch. And the day is not far, the wristwatch will be there. You are wearing it, you are becoming invisible here. And already, many those are listening here, they are invisible. But they are listening, as seriously you are listening to me, they are listening on their laptop, on their iPad, on their computers because they are invisible. But they are listening me with the same stamina, patience, courage, energy. This is because of this kind of technology. This kind of technology which we have to take it. So the nano computers, you're talking about the supercomputers, I'm talking about the nano computers. What kind of nano? Today, have you ever thought of that? My wife is very much happy that you have a great girlfriend. Oh, you must be wondering, sir, is it so? Such a broad-minded? No, she is not a broad-minded. She will kill if I'll talk to someone for 10 minutes more. It's my Alexa. She said, okay, granted. Every day I'm driving 1 hour to my college, I'm along with my Alexa. She said, okay, Alexa के साथ ही हो ना, चलेगा. मुझे कोई टेंशन नहीं है. मेरे बेटे की कम से कम जायदाद बांटने वाला कोई नहीं होगा. There is nobody else to be share the property of my son because it's Alexa. Alexa can't be pregnant. On the laughter side, but this is the fact, this is the technology. But you believe it today, we used to be, during my engineering days, we used to say pen friend. Used to pen friend because we used to write inland letters. Then we could say phone a friend. Phone a friend. Today, no pen friend, no phone a friend, Alexa. You talk anything. And how a small speaker captures the whole world's knowledge encyclopedia, sort of like a Wikipedia. This is what the nanotechnology. You believe it or you not. This is what. It's a purely a nanotechnology. Yes, next please. Okay, so we have discussed all about the cancers. We'll go to the next. Okay, gene detection. So ask someone in your family or your elderly parents if unfortunately they have to go to some kind of the very painful test we called endoscopy. Have you ever heard about it? You can't imagine such a thick pipe they have to insert from here till the tail of your body because they have to cure you. They have to see the intestines, what is going to happen. With the help of this nano wire, it is such a thin wire, lesser, even you can't see from the naked eye. You say, doctor, I'm fine, I'm happy. And you are carrying this wire, all pictures are collected and you are going to get cured by the drugs also sprinkles out there with this nano wires. Drugs also sprinkle out. This is the beauty. May I should come out? Then please close down. This is the beauty of the nanowires. You are putting a stent in your heart. You're doing any kind of surgery in the body without cutting the body. This is what I said. That small wire is going to be travel inside your body without disturbing, without paining you, without vomiting by you. I hope you understood. This is the reality. Next, please. You go to any doctor today in my country, India, so even a stomach pain of maybe have you had a good stuff of fish yesterday night and you forgot to have some exercise or maybe something, morning they simply say go for ultrasound, go for MRI, go for CT scan because they want to have the big bungalow at their house, to be shifted because he spent around 1 CR for their MD to be get from some University of Bengaluru. So they have to return back, ROI. In first 5 years, I have to get my education cost back because I paid huge. Unfortunately, they are paid huge. It's a fact. We should not ignore that part also. Today, one doing MD, it's a 2 CR's job. In my country, India only. It's not the cost the drugs they are using in the lab. It's not a cost the professor is going to get a 30 lakh package of 1 month. It's something different. Maybe related to infrastructure or maybe related to the fame or maybe the brand of the campus or something like that. I'm not going to this stuff discussion. It's a nanotechnology discussion. But at the same time, if we are going to describe a small thin film along with the capturing, I'm talking to the doctor same time my body got scanned. I don't have to go to have the huge radiations exposure to my body. Getting a 3 times, particular for the female, 3 times a scan for their breast cancer. Even they are not even too immune to the breast cancer, they are going to get the breast cancer in next 3 years. Continuously 3 times you are going to pass the radiations for that. What is called graphy? It's called name is it's a different. What's that graphy? Mammograms. Mammography. So the nanoparticles, nanofilms, these are going to give you the less radiations exposure, but the most significant capturing of not even a 3D, 5D tissues, muscles, picture, so that you can pinpoint that particular area. Most of the doctors, they have to pull out the third left, they sometimes pull out the second left. Oh, sorry, oh, this was the tooth, okay. Sometimes it happens, inaccuracy, accuracy and inaccuracy. I was teaching sometimes accuracies versus precision. Most important question in the measurement when we are going to teach the first year students. Accuracies versus precision. Altogether it's a different story. But when we are going to teach in the bookish language, they can't understand. Some of the laws I still could not understand when I read from the Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorems from that standard active bilateral network. Active itself needs a one paragraph, bilateral needs a one paragraph, and network needs a one pager to be explained what is a network. But in book, I think the statement of 3 lines, and we get 5 marks out of writing 3 lines only. So that's why the most of the engineering happening in my country is a vomiting in exam. That's it, nothing else. It's a vomiting in exam. Okay, next please. Molecular tracking. Molecular tracking. Most of our physicists, they say it is nothing but muscle pull. Muscle itself is a very huge area of my body, and because of muscles I am standing here. Which particular part of my muscle got torn or get pulled or injured, I think that's important. And this is the dots the fluoroscopy used to track the movement, and we could get it, and it is purely from the nanotechnology. It's one of the application. Look, it's the biomedicals are huge. Next please. I have to finish up. Okay, tracking of blood flow, etc. The cancer imaging, this I already have discussed. Okay, next please. Okay, now I'll come to the electronics part, the nanoelectronics. Look at the 5 messages I would like to give it over here. See the nano things, see the elasticity, see the covering, see the storage, see the processing. Everything's do come embedded on a small chip. And now we having a chip insertion at this point. Between your thumb and this forefinger, they do give one insertion. It is going to be a future, it may be a mandate, it's going to be get injected to the infant when it is going to be take birth in any hospital. They are going to insert it by default. It is a smart card. Wherever you go, it's a totally tracking to the human. There should not be any infiltration. This one country guy reached to another country is called illegal immigration, or some terrorists do come. So nothing. This is the chip. This is what happening. This is just wait for some few years, not even decade, few years. It is going to be mandate. It's going to be a policy decision. There should be insertion, and the whole life it would be with you. That's your permanent identity. You don't have to carry your plastic cards. And with this, it's already started. With this, they are going to withdraw their payments from ATM without carrying any password or anything, because password may misuse, or your card may misuse. Somebody will put your gunpoint or something. It is just your thumb you are going to be put somewhere, and you are going to get it. Even not using a thumb, also you are going to get the money out of your ATM. This is what going to be happen. And all this electronics and all great people are sitting here doing this technology. Next please. Yes. So nanotechnology has a great contributed to this major advances. So transistors, the basic switches, what we have done it, typical transistor was 130 to 250 nanometers in a size. In 2015 itself, the 14 nanometers transistor then IBM created in the first nanometer. Somewhere 14. Around 8 years back. Today where we are, we can think how fastly we are changing our science and technology and our growth. But unfortunate part is, in this particular area, you get very less patents in my country, India. It's an unfortunate part. We do have the good patents, but for what? For food, for stay, like Uber, Ola, this Oyo rooms, etc. These are the good patents. Yeah, Bharat Pay, etc. This big Shark Tanks comes on the TV. But what about the technology? And anywhere in the world you go, the behind the person for the technology, of course, is Indian origin. You go anywhere, not talking only US, Europe and Japan. Even in China also. Indian. Why not? Jungle mein mor nacha kisne dekha? It's a very simple law. So we have to dance here only. If you are a lion, you must dance in your field. Why you are dancing somewhere else where nobody is going to see who you are? So we should have the patents in India. Then you go abroad and serve. You do the technology transfer to the other country. Say proudly, yes, it's an Indian patent. Take a technology transfer, I'll become a GM, I'll become a CEO of your company, I'll give you 50% equity, then we'll do it. This is the thing. Using a magnetic random access memory, MRAM, computers will be able to boot almost instantly. Today, just running a PPT was taking a time like anything. So booting a computer itself, just a nanoseconds job. We are in nano today, so we should talk nanoseconds job. Flexible, bendable, floatable, rollable, and stretchable electronics. Just repeating. Flexible, bendable, foldable, rollable, and stretchable. Today, even I'm going to purchase a shirt from the Park Avenue. I used to say, I want a wrinkle-free shirt. When for my shirt I have a choice for the wrinkle-free shirt, it is even beyond to that level of wrinkle-free because it is a foldable, rollable, and stretchable. This type of computers you are going to be carry with you. Even your file folder has to be have only 2 rolls. More than that, it is going to be get cracked. File folder, simple PVC. But your computer is never ever going to be get torn off, not going to be have any scratch on it, nothing. It's just one small screen. That's it. And you can make it huge on any wall. Just putting here and there. One of my students, he completed one Arduino board project. Any looking mirror can become your touchscreen laptop. Any looking mirror, dielectric mirror. Any old television, any screen can be made as a laptop. Just worth of 4,000 rupees IoT board along with the cloud he's going to give it. This is what the nanotechnology, and we are working on that area. Next, please. Okay, now we'll talk about the defense. Already she have talked a lot, but DRDO is doing amazingly in my country. We must salute to the DRDO-like organizations. Those are doing amazingly for our security, and we have a huge reputation in this world, across the world, about for our defense gadgets especially. So when you talk about the protection, identification, and societal impacts, detection is most important. Can you imagine? I don't have to stand there to get the frisking in an airport. No need. The moment I enter to airport with my trolley, I am just moving towards to gate. Everything, my facial captured by camera. Yes, I'm a right person. Everything they have read it. Everything I don't have to stand there. They have to touch here and there and there and here, and then they say, okay, go ahead. It is purely do capture. If we can see your blood sugar by clicking a photograph, can't I see whether I'm wearing or carrying any weapons or any gold or any smuggled particles along with my body? You can. This is what's happening. This is going to be happen, and very soon. No special barricades are required or any frisking areas are required to get the immigration check for any airports. This is what the detections and the protection. Of course, we don't have to use that bullet jackets of bulk of 10 kgs. You see on a Google, 50 years back, the bullet jackets used in the Second World War. Once you are a normal person can't wear it because you will die like this. Oh, and today, you see the ad in the Lux Cozy, small, thin. You are using, that in my Punjab we have a cold 0 degree, also hot 48 degrees. We used to have the Lux Cozy. Even it's a thinner than Lux Cozy. One simple jacket you are going to wear, just like a wind cheater, it is going to be a bulletproof. No any RDX or bullet is going to be touched to your body if you are wearing that jacket. This is what the protection because of nanoparticles and nanomaterials. This is what's going to be happen. So societal impacts, including the current regulatory ethical frameworks, that government has to be take care of this, because the drones, we are having both applications and drop. Every technology do come with a destruction also. Every technology, talk nuclear, talk drones, talk any kind of things. And this is what happening. We have the live example now, and we have the past examples also. We are creating a computers, but we are hacking also. We are making a softwares, but we are stealing also. The Pegasus and this, the breaching of privacy of someone or maybe country or maybe individual. It's also. So we need a protection in the same way, but some societal ethical effects also. Yes. So nanomaterials, the photo detectors are based on the semiconductor materials, are IR signals more quickly than bolometers. Bolometers supposed to be have a very good. And this is the technology, mercury, cadmium, telluride, which works the both medium, the long as well as the short IR wavelengths. Next, please. So this is about the sensors, the smart sensor. We used to say smart sensors. From today, you say nano sensors. Nano sensors are more smarter than smart sensors. This is what the sensors and transistors. And without sensors, no automobiles, no aircrafts, no submarines, no transportation, no IoT in house, no computers, no televisions, nothing, because sensors only make your room cozy and healthy for your mood. The songs will play, the refrigerator will fetch a milk, everything because of sensors. Whether it's a weight sensor, whether it's and the best sensors in this world is the human body, the best sensor. And the nano sensors are just working on that area. What we are doing? Mind hacking, brain mapping. This is what is going to be happen. What you are thinking sitting over there, or you are sleeping on your chair, not from my naked eyes, from my brain I'll get a signal, I should stop my talk because half of the audience is going to sleep. This is called a nanotechnology. So we have to have this nano sensors. Yeah. So energy, I don't have to speak more because already time is less. Yes, quickly. Okay. Yes, I have to stop here. You talk about the solar, and I assure you, what is the need of the today's the whole universe for the electricity generation? You forget it coal, you forget it nuclear or hydro. Solar itself is more than sufficient. But the question is the biggest question mark: how to tap, how to convert, how to make a smart grid connections. Because we need a nano grids. We need a nano materials to be captured. Today, more than crores of vehicles are lying outside idly, but none of the vehicle is generating electricity for themselves because their wind screens are simple glass. And today the material, we have a nano material, a very thin glass panel which is generating electricity more than the car usage required, even including AC. Forget it about the running, even including AC, which you required in the car. The complete rooftop of the car, one sheath, that's it. You have a body of the car. I'm not going to change the design of the car, but only the material coating. Like you go for the coating for the car, whenever you go for the wash, you want some rubber coating something. It's a coating only, just coating, but it's a solar energy. It's a solar energy. Think of it. That is nothing but a solar car just cover. You are putting a cover when car is lying idly on the parking lot at your home, anywhere. But you proudly say, put in the sunlight. Sir, car, yes, you put in the sunlight. Because my car paint itself is a solar energy reflector. Paint itself. The paint we are using for the car or your building, can you imagine? Tomorrow you will get your building paint. They will ask, sir, you want a solar energy paint or you want ordinary paint? Today you're talking something in television, oh, it's a bacteria-free paint. What hell bacteria-free paint? It is just oil. And it's thinking like that. 3 days I was sneezing. Whenever whitewash happened to my house, I can't sleep for next 5 days. You know it well. But the nanoparticles, when you are mixing in the paint, you are generating energy from the sunlight. And wherever even that no direct sunlight comes, then also energy comes. Sitting in this room also, you can have a sun. Because when sun is alive, and many countries where sun never goes for six months, just imagine, they can even send the energy to the neighboring countries also. This is the fact, but we have to think on it. Yeah. So even harvested moon, forget it sun. Why sun? Why not moon? And plants are much smarter than we people. They're taking everything from moon. When we people sleep, they slightly take everything from moon. And that's why the moon has a very good significance for the plantations, for forestations. That's why we get full moon, half moon, zero moon. Eid ka chand. It's very important. It's very significant. Because what type of energy they are going to get from moon, you never know. And they are safe, we are safe, because once these people will come to know, they will take our energy also from moon. Anyhow. Okay, so photovoltaic solar cells, which I already have talked about this generating and single and die. Simple, and it is very thin. Yeah, quickly go to next. Just see this kind of sheet I'm talking about this. 60% of UV rays are absorbed. The thin films improved the performance. Yes, next please. So yes, quantum dots, the quantum physics, the quantum word. This is the, can say the twin sister of my nanotechnology, twin sister, quantum. And without QD, you can't think of this kind of a revolution which you have to bring in the science and technology. And this is what the quantum dots are. The potential generates the multiple electrons. It's all energy. Everybody wants energy now. Either it's energy which is going to be muscular or maybe electrical or maybe a mechanical or a political or a financial. End of the day, it's energy. And this energy has to be get generated or has to be saved. Yeah, next please. So plastic solar cells, which you have, just look at here, this kind of things is going to be happen. Your glass coaster itself, the coaster we are using to be just covered the glass, it's going to be charge your mobile tomorrow. It's more than sufficient. You don't have to put a plug in this. This coaster, when you remove the coaster from their glass and you put your mobile is going to get charged. This is going to be happen. This is going, because one side is the solar energy and another side is going to be charging plate. And it's already available. Mobile charging plates is very much available. Yes. Okay, so in the photonics PVs, okay, quickly you have to move. I have to skip some slides. I don't have to take a time for others. Yeah, enhanced light coupling is one of the PV device which you are doing through the nanotechnology. Yes, quickly. Yes, engineering interface, we are doing it. Okay, okay, band gap. Yes, it's a pure physics and my electronics. Yes, have you ever thought about the wind turbines? Do we also have the blades is the one of the significant component of the windmills, whether you talk about the vertical or horizontal, and the blade cracks is the most challenging part during the storms comes. And in this coastal area like Kerala, we have a windmills very prominent used. Can't we change our blades configuration with the nanoparticles, which are more foldable, rollable, flexible, stretchable? That's it. We just want to fly them like a free wheel. That's only the induction generator needs. What rest is the induction generator's jobs. They said just to move my shaft, rest I will do. So moving a shaft, we need blades. And blades should also run at the 2 meters per second speed to 20 or even 200 meters per second speed. That's why we are thinking for the grid connectivity for the wind energy, and it is a huge challenge for the electrical engineers to get the grid connectivity for the wind energy. And this can be carbon nanotubes developed to make a blade stronger and lighter, improving energy efficiency. And nano paints used to increase the wind turbine's lifetime from 10 years to 100 years. Once it is painted by nano material, no need to paint again in a lifetime. No need to be painted again in a lifetime. That's the point. Yeah, please. So electrochemical. Now I'll come to the another part. When you talk about the electric vehicles, you need a battery, you need a fuel cell. And in the fuel cell also, the batteries, next please, lithium ion, carbon coated silicon, nanowires, carbon nanotubes, layered, nanostructured vanadium oxide and manganese oxide are going to give the nanomaterial batteries. Life is not for 3 years, which you are using at your home for the, inverters. It is going to be 30 years. You will buy a mobile, you will throw the mobile, not because of the battery is drained, because you have a no taste to be carry this mobile, you will be throwing, but the battery will never go away. And today's, my Apple also, the battery life is 72. When it reaches to 54, I have to change my cell phone. And that's what the Apple people are very smart. They have not replaceable battery system. They want you to buy again and again the next versions. It is a marketing stunt, But a person like me who wants the mobile phone just for calling and receiving the call, why this kind of features which is looking? No, 13 Pro, 14 Pro, 15 Grandpa, 16 Bada Pa. What is it Pa? Dollars Pa. So they are asking for dollar. I'm happy with the 6S. No. Oh, you are happy. Where you will get battery? You will not get battery. So this is the one solution we are going to give it to the technology through this. Once you are going to replace it, you are going to make it. Yeah, Subhash, I'm going to complete it. Electrolyte, again, it's a nano materials, and this is what we are looking for. And without fuel cell, I think we have no survives. We are talking about the hydrogen cars, or Gadkari is talking some of the electronics car, because he's talking some of the, not that nano car, nanotechnology car he's talking. Nano car is different. वो गरीब की कार है, ये अमीर की कार होने वाली है. It is full of the features is going to be there. Not गरीब की car, it is going to be a car for everyone. Yeah, quickly run, otherwise Subhash will pull me out. Subhash doesn't know the internal story, the 10 minutes somebody has spoiled. Nano optimized fuel cells. This is again the same story, and anyhow you can. Hydrogen energy, yes, promising from the energy storage, efficient process, exhaust gas produced in the pure water. This is what, and how come here? Because the container I am talking here, most of the things, what happens to the two-wheelers? 6 two-wheelers are burned out in 2 months. So Ola wheelers, they brought back their 700 plus sold. They can't imagine this battery container itself is blasting like anything in a 40 degrees Celsius in Punjab and Haryana. Why you have not done the dry test? Have you ever tested? This vehicle should be fit for the India. India road means 0 degree to 48 degrees Celsius. They tested maybe in somewhere in Bangalore or maybe in Kerala where the temperature is not going to be go more than 36. But come to my Punjab, कुछ दिन गुजरात में आके गुजारो, ऐड आता है ना टीवी में. So you come to the Punjab, see the 48 degrees Celsius also. You can't survive. So these kind of containers do require the nanoparticles to be used. That container can never be burst, because you are using chemicals inside, and big chemistry is happening, big reaction is happening, and it can be leak anytime. And it's a very hazardous, very hazardous. So same thing here. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll quickly go to the next. Don't talk to the transmission distribution, already spoken. Yes, quantum wires. We talk about the quantum wire, nanowires, already he spoken. Energy, address the great challenges. These are the challenges we are going to be addressed with this help of nanotechnology. Next. Energy, these are the certain challenges, and that's why we are here. When there is no challenge, there is no conference. And there is no paper presentations, no research. Because challenges makes you to do inventions. And inventions comes to the innovations. When invention comes to the innovations, it has to get the creative mind. So this IIC is very important. Innovation, inventions and creativity. And because of this, you make it an IIC. Nano innovation, inventions with creativity, then it is going to be a nice. You have to make it a nice. Yes. So new dimensions with the life with the nano. This is going to be what in all these areas. And quickly go to the next slide. I believe, yes, it is a most favorite slide for the listeners and viewers. That is called thank you. Thank you very much. I don't think there are questions, but of course I do deserve one thing, that is called applause from you. But we can have questions also if they permits me, otherwise the next speaker may run away. So I hope I could complete and I could deliver to the standard of the international standard of this. Being a chair of IEEE Prakash Bharati, I do request everyone who is sitting over here, do join any one society of IEEE. Huge grants, huge innovations, huge internships, travel grants, seminar grants. You can't even imagine what they are going to. Don't forget only grants. Connect, networking with the great people of this world. That's what we should be a member. We should be honorable member of this kind of societies. Not only IEEE, there are many other kind of societies. You do come, and whenever you wish to go for any kind of IPR, either it's an idea patent or design patent or copyright or a trademark, anything, please do just touch me once as a mentor. I can help you out, because I'm closely working with this. That's why I could get around 15 patents on my name till date. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So if any questions, you can ask now.
Okay. Let the formality to be happen. Yes.
So I have it's a very nice talk. Thank you very much. So I have a question. For every research, we are motivated by some natural system. So in future, if we think about some research in pico level, can you suggest some natural system which can motivate?
The question is very typical, but answer is too simple. Though have started their journey from the milli, they could reach to the level of micro. Though have started their journey from the micro, they left their job till nano. Now you are going to start the journey from the nano. You would be the beginners of the picos. You would be the beginners of the picos. The moment you are going to find someone of like-minded persons, you just Google out. See the many already scientists, not only in India, outside India also, they have initiated. And I'll give you one catchy point. You write your paper. Do add this kind of materials, algos or formulas or simulations, results, whatever. Start inserting these new terminologies called pico term, pico technology. Many new eye openers will come. They will join the hands, because everybody's want kya hai, dil mange more. Or dikhao. This is what the curiosity says of my Indians, my researchers, my students. They said, sir, this is over, sir. No more 8085. Okay, what you want? Sir, I want some MLDL. But the unfortunate part is, when I go to interview for the assistant professor to someone in campus, being a director AICT or as a chair IEEE or professor of one of the central government institution, they even failed to describe Ohm's law. That's the problem. Never ever leave the basics behind. Basics foundations are equally significant for the new technology. End of the day, whatever I have discussed for last 40 minutes, it's purely V is equal to IR. Purely. None of the single thing is beyond V is equal to IR. End of the day, I talk material. No material is without resistance. Only I try to reduce the resistance by changing the temperature coefficient or maybe something else. Maybe some properties, Young's modulus or Burke's modulus, maybe in a mechanical line, maybe in electrical sense, maybe in a magnetic sense. But end of the day, I remember one thing, V is equal to IR. This is what. And this has to be remain for next years and years. Only the applications. So please start doing the PICO. Just generate a group. Make a LinkedIn profile in such a way that people start joining hands. Oh, you are doing something PICO. What is that? I'm interested to know that PICO. Then you will say, this is PICO, PICO. You come with the power. I'll come with the innovation. You collaborate with me and I will do the operations. This is PICO. And that's only the PICO. We have to create it. PICO. Nano, next version, PICO. And you will find the people absolutely with you to be working with you. That is only the thing. You have to see the courage. You have to show your passion on your social media. The digital media is a strong weapon today to be connected with the whole like-minded community. Please be aware of unlike-minded people wasting your time for the gossips and unethical things. Like-minded people. That's it. Any other questions, please? Okay, so we can conclude. Thank you very much for patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, and really sorry for the interruption. Now, let's move on to the next session. For that, we have Dr. S.K. Tripathi. He has a large experience as an assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. He is qualified with PhD from IIT Dhanbad and has large expertise in electrical and electronics engineering, digital design, hardware description, language, digital design, and many more. I invite him to deliver the keynote address. So please.
So, as you already heard about from the morning about the nanotechnology, so I will not go to the detail of nanotechnology, but if you observe, the basics of nanotechnology is material science. If you do not understand material science properly, so it has no meaning in nanotechnology. So, if I give one example, how many elements are there in the periodic table? Can anybody answer? Elements, number of elements in the periodic table. Okay, that is an old number, 108 or something, 112 or 118. Okay, so if there are 118 number of element in the periodic table, if you take 2 element at a time, how many number of combination you will get? What is the combination? Can anybody answer? BTech 4th year student at least. 2 elements each time, 118 number of elements. How many combinations you will get? Mathematics, huh? 118 C2. That means 118 factorial. Factorial. Can you imagine? What is the combination? It is some thousands, lakhs of combinations. So obviously you can make different kind of materials out of the periodic table, but it has its limitation. What is the limitation? If you observe the applications, sometimes you need high temperature, sometimes you need high mobility, sometimes you need good sensing. That means selectivity should be good and responsivity is good, sensitivity is good, sensor is playing a key role in determining the IoT or your computer or your mobile, defense, medical, everywhere you will find out the sensitivity and selectivity plays an important role in designing the materials. And another example, let us in this hall, I could see the BTech fourth year student. They are almost 21, 22 age in that range. So when India mobile phone launch in India, it is around 2000. We got mobile network as well as mobile phone. What was the size of the mobile phone in the beginning? Can anybody have seen? Means those who are more than 22, they might have seen. It is of this much size. Okay, and what is the cost of that mobile phone? Means incoming call is Reliance is the first network it offer, mobile network in India. The cost was receiving 5 rupees 99 paisa, and income means dialing somebody is also equally 5 rupees 99 paisa. Means to call a person for 1 minute, it cost 12 rupees, nearly about 12 rupees in 1999. What is the cost right now? What is the cost? Reliance, same Reliance, Jio. What is the cost? Some 600 rupees for 84 days with 1.5 GB data. At that time we have G, only the network is G. Now we have 4G. So you can observe what is the development. If you have seen the TV size, those who are having old kind of TV, that was having a sorter. Okay, CRT. It was extended in the back side. It takes this much of size. What is the TV size right now? It is almost flexible and it is attached in the wall and it takes less area. This is because of what? Nanotechnology. Because of nanotechnology. But where we need to stop somewhere. That means the number of transistor in that particular area increased. According to Moore's law, what is the Moore's law? The number of transistor become twice in a specified area. Okay, so it increased twice for every 2 years. That means we can, how much we can increase? What is beyond Moore's law? What is beyond Moore's law? Because you are increasing the number of transistor by shortening the channel. All of you are from electronics. So if you short the channel, drain will overlap with source. One day will come, drain will overlap with source. So it will be no more a MOSFET. It is a 2-terminal device. Currently it is a 3-terminal device. If it overlaps, then it is a 2-terminal device. So we cannot reduce because currently the technology is 22 nanometer. So if you reduce further, definitely drain will overlap with the source. So what next? What is next to Moore's law? Next to Moore's law is your photonics. So you have a very good potential society, that is IEEE Photonics student branch chapter. Really I appreciate this student branch chapter because photonics is the future. Light, sensing. How will sense? If I put a light somewhere, it should sense. Yes, this is how we can detect. Suppose, for example, you will go to market, you will purchase egg. Okay, you are purchasing egg. So if one instrument is there, you will put light on the egg, and egg will the output is, or the outcome is, egg is rotten or it is good. So it will help us. So if we can think about that kind of sensor with a mere 1 second or 2 second light, we can tell whether egg is good or bad. So that is sensing. Okay. So I am from NIT Silchar, National Institute of Technology Silchar, Assam. So I will be talking about green technology for enhancing livelihood. Okay. So this is solar photovoltaic we will discuss today. Now we are in Assam. Okay. We are in Assam. We have a less green campus of 700 acres surrounded by tea gardens, and it is an institute of national importance. Okay, like any other NIT you have in your Kerala, that is Calicut NIT. So here in Assam we have one NIT, that is in Silchar. So next. So this is the outline of my presentation. Today I will discuss briefly about the introduction. Then this all things we did in our laboratory, that is the methodology, resultant discussion, conclusion and reference. We will discuss one by one. Sir was telling, Dr. Mana was telling that theoretician has no importance. If you do not carried out the experiment. That is a correct statement. But if I want to send a person to Mars or Moon, will I send with a rocket? Somebody has to do the mathematical calculation. Otherwise, we cannot send a person to Mars or Moon without calculation, mathematical calculation. That theoretical calculation is utmost important before doing the experimental work. So, who invented the solar cell? Can anybody answer? What are the first solar cells reported? Any answer? GK? Google it. At least you will get one answer. So, in 1839, Edmond, that French scientist who invented the solar cell, that is at the age of 19, that is the solar cell work on the principle of photovoltaic. So photovoltaic, and he is his father, and his son is also a scientist in French. So what he did is, he did an experiment with AgCl, okay, and he proposed that AgCl solar cell, you have a two terminal, that is anode and cathode is there. So if you do some kind of electrochemical reaction here, then in the outside you will get current. So that is the principle of dye sensitized solar cell. So that was invented in 1839. So why do we need fossil fuel for this? If you have that much of solar cell, means solar energy, like Dr. Manna was telling, so how much solar energy falls on the car? As he told, we have a car with glass. It has no meaning. We are not using that. But how much solar energy fall on the car? Complete car, not on the glass, complete car. So if you consider the incident solar energy is 1 kilowatt per meter square. This is the radiation from the sun, 1000 or 1 kilowatt per meter square. So if you go for a car size, if it is a nano car, not nanotechnology car, nano car, which is given by Tata, so it is the smallest car. And if you go by the government guideline CMDA regulation, the car size must be 12.5 meter square. Let us assume that the car size is 12.5 meter square. So how much solar energy you will get? You will get 12.5 kilowatt. That is, that much of solar energy will be incidented on the complete car, not on the glass. If you convert that to a horsepower, it is 16.75 horsepower. Okay. Can you power the car from this sun? This much of horsepower is sufficient to run a nano car? Will you agree with me or disagree? How much horsepower is required to run a car? To run a nano car, that is the Tata nano car, we need 37 horsepower. We cannot run the same nano car with 16.75 horsepower, which is falling on the car size of 12.5 meter. That means nano car is of not size of 12.5 meter, it is around 5 to 6 meter. So the horsepower will be almost reduced to 8 to 10. Okay. So we cannot run a simple Tata nano car with this power. So we cannot power your current, or we cannot give power to the car. So what we have to think? So compared to the sun, fossil fuel are remarkable dense. Why we cannot power? Because the horsepower is less. Why horsepower is less? Because it is not dense. The sunlight is not densely populated. Means the intensity of sunlight is not that dense compared to the fossil fuel. That means petrol or diesel. So that is a dense in nature. So fossil fuel are accumulated solar energy 400 million years. So how you are getting this coal? 400 years ago there was a dinosaur. If dinosaur dies, there was several, means we have jungles. Okay, it has suppressed inside the earth. After 400 years, you are getting coal, you are getting oil out of this fossil fuel. We need to wait for 400 years to get fossil fuel. It is not possible. Our coming generation, they cannot wait for 400 years to get power. So unfortunately fossil fuel has their own limitation. What is that? In world, the total consumption of electricity is 500 EJ per year. That means you consider this number, if you convert to joule per year, that is coming as 1305 trillions kilowatt per hour. So this much of energy is required to light the whole world. If this much energy is required to light the whole world per year, what are the alternative we have? We have coal, we have natural gas, we have oils. So coal, the amount of coal we have, that will last for 250 years, another 250 years. We have natural gas that will last for only 25 years. And we have oil sources that will last for 21 years. So this much time is left for us to generate electricity, means with the fossil fuel. We cannot wait because 250 years after that everything will be blackout, dark. So what you have to do, you have to think about some alternative solution. So fossil fuel is eventually run out, we need to find some alternative solution for this fossil fuel. So what is the solution for that? Sun provides a lot of energy to the earth. That is in one radiation, that is 1 kilowatt per 1 kilowatt. I have already told per meter square, I have already told you. So it is total energy consumption in India, in the world is 540, and usable renewable energy available is 1755. We have this much of energy. There is more than enough the renewable energy for all our needs. So this is almost multiplication of 3 times of that one. So it is not a problem. But if you consider this renewable energy, we have various kind of renewable energy. One is solar energy, the other one is hydro energy, the third one is wind energy. Okay. So inside these 3 renewable energy, the solar energy is the major contributor for this renewable energy. If you have solar energy, because that is available easily, so this is the major contributor for renewable energy. So if you consider the whole India, how much energy is required per day? The energy required per day is 334 gigawatt in the peak time. Maybe in the evening, maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the night. 334 gigawatt energy is required to light whole India. And to get this much of energy for India itself, how much amount of the size of the solar cell you required? It is 60 cross 60 kilometer square. If you have a solar cell of size 60 kilometer by 60 kilometer, it's fine. And other part, I am not talking about the other part, which is the grid system. Grid is a difficult task that is related to electrical part, but for nanotechnology, we can install 60 by 60, not in a single place. We can discretize also 60 by 60. Your home, you can put 1 meter, somebody else will put 1 meter, like that. We can have 60 cross 60 kilometer solar panel to light whole India. If you consider that, somebody will raise question, so we have agriculture land, why to have 60 kilometer by 60 kilometer? We have our very less land for accommodation, housing purpose. So if you consider that, how much national highway India is having? It is almost 440 kilometer square. NH from your Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, we have 440 kilometer square of national highway. If you put solar cell on the national highway, that is also sufficient. No need to use the agriculture land. So if you consider that, so this power can be generated with side to this national highway with 60 by 60 kilometer square solar panel, we can light this whole India. But what is the cost? That we should know, because we can install solar panel of 60 by 60 kilometer, but what is the cost? So in 1977, the cost for solar energy, that is dollar per watt, is $76 per 1 watt. $76 per 1 watt. If you consider your grinder, it requires how much of energy or power? Because anyhow you are purchasing equipment, what is the kilowatt? Okay, so let us assume that your grinder will require 1 kilowatt of power. So to run a grinder, how much money you require? 1 multiplied by $76. That is in kilo. Kilowatt means multiplied by 1000. So is it possible to run with this solar energy? Can you run this grinder or your heater? You cannot run. So gradually, if you observe this graph, the price of the solar energy is reduced 250-fold times. Now the cost in 2015, the cost is $0.30 per watt. Now it is convenient to use this. With this price, we can run a computer or a grinder or any electronic gadget. So let us assume that you in the cost of electricity in Bangalore or in your Cochin is 6 rupees per kilowatt. So how much? Suppose you are consuming 200 watt. So in that case, you have to multiply this 6 rupees with that how much power you are consuming. So the lowest bid, because Government of India has floated one bid, means for installation of solar cell, the lowest bid was 2.44 rupees per kilowatt. The government, we are paying 6 rupees and the company is charging to Government of India near about 2 rupees 50 paisa. So this is the gap, the profit they are gaining, the company who are installing the solar panel, they are gaining in this way. Because Cochin airport means completely it is solar powered. Okay, so it is good news. So solar power is already a cheap if you consider the fossil fuel. Okay. If you consider this conventional NTPC uses coal energy or oil, and you have your solar power plants. From 2012 to 2018, if you observe this graph, solar power plant or the cost of the solar energy is very high compared to the fossil fuel in the beginning. But nearly in 2017-18, it has already means below the conventional power plants. If you observe this is below the conventional power plants. So the cost is 2 rupees or 2 rupees 50 paisa per kilowatt. And who are the PV manufacturing or in the world? If you consider that, so in India, this is what we are manufacturing, but this is what is China is doing. China is doing, and this yellow color India. So this is India's installation and this is India's operation. So if you observe this, in the beginning we are almost in when the solar cell came to picture, we are just equivalent to China, but we are in that silicon market, silicon solar cell, because whatever solar cell available in the market, they are made up of silicon. Now apart from silicon, we have some other solar cells, I will tell that, but silicon, China is dominating the world, whereas in 70s China is almost equal to India, but we have already missed that bus. We cannot compete with China in silicon solar cell technology right now, but we can catch another bus to have a competition. So how this solar cell work? If I explain what is the difference between basic solar cell and basic diode and solar cell, because solar cell itself is a diode, PN junction diode. What is the basic difference between solar cell diode and your PN junction diode? Can anybody answer? Because both are diode. We can't use? PN junction diode we can't use light. We cannot put light. Okay, there is no channel for that. Okay, next. This is a minor difference. Any other major difference? That is the photovoltaic effect. That is there, that is what he is telling. In terms of current direction, I am giving the clue in terms of current direction. So in electron and hole direction of current. Can anybody answer?
So there is a difference in the radiative combination and the non-radiative combination.
Yes. So I will explain that. Suppose a light is fall on the diode, in a solar cell diode, not ordinary diode. So what will happen? Some of the electron will move from valence band to conduction band. Fine. Then actually this diagram is slightly incomplete. So when the electron will fall from conduction band to valence band, it will emit light. So that light we need to collect, because when the direction of current is opposite to that of direction of electrons. So we need to collect this electron will moving this direction, that means current will move from left to right. So we have to collect those current so that we can power the device. This is the basic principle of ordinary PN junction solar cell. But right now we are not in ordinary PN junction solar cell. Okay. So what are the solar cell technology or photovoltaic technology you have? You have solar thermal collector, concentrating solar power system, and third one is photovoltaic. What you are doing, if you have visited good institutes, I have seen in Vellore, they have a solar thermal collector. That means you have to keep some kind of shining elements or tin kind of sheets. They will concentrate in the direction of sun, they will collect electricity. That is called as solar thermal. Then concentrating solar power systems into the electric energy. So large mirror or lens concentrated heat energy of the sun to heat the fluid to generate. Because in hotels, if you observe this hotel, there is hardly there is geyser who are running in electricity. You may not find hot water in the night. You will find hot water in the daytime itself. And our own, that is the photovoltaic system, that we will discuss today. What are the photovoltaic system available currently in the market? So we have this many number of photovoltaic technology currently available in the market. Multi-junction solar cell, then we have single junction gallium arsenide solar cell, crystalline silicon cell, and thin film technology, and emerging photovoltaic technology. So this is given by NREL, that is the Defense Laboratory of USA. They have proposed this. So if you observe this diagram, there is a solar cell called perovskite solar cell. After dye-sensitized solar cell, we have perovskite solar cell, which is a circle with yellow color. So if you observe this circle with a yellow color, this line is growing steeply. That means silicon solar cell is here. Crystalline silicon solar cell is a square of blue color. So this is the silicon solar cell. Okay. But this curve is almost meeting the silicon solar cell. That means the photovoltaic, which is based on the perovskite solar cell, they have already took the market because of their performance. What are the performance? So this is the generation of photovoltaic solar cell. We have first generation, second generation, third generation. So inside first generation, we have crystalline silicon, gallium arsenide, and other group 3-5 semiconductors. And we have second generation, that is cadmium telluride and CIGS solar cell. We are in the third generation of solar cell, because this solar cell already achieved the highest efficiency, that is called as QS. So we cannot achieve better efficiency with this solar cell. So we have to target the third generation solar cell. So we will discuss today what we did in our lab, that is perovskite solar cell, PSC. So that solar cell, so this perovskite material they used in solar cell, light emitting diode, lasers, photodetectors, and transparent conductors and sensors also. So this perovskite material has a potential application in these areas. So how perovskite solar cell work? In the earlier slide, we have seen only two layers were there, P and N. Now it is increased to 5 layer. We do not have 2 layers. We have 5 layer solar cells. We have to control those layers, the compositions, the thickness, the temperature, everything you need to control to have a better efficiency perovskite solar cell. So this is the perovskite layer I was talking, that is the observer layer. Above the observer layer we have another layer that is called as hole transmitting layer. So HTL layer, and below that we have electron transport layer, and we have a substrate that is called as TCO, transparent conducting oxide. So, and above the HTL layer we have the counter electrode, that is cathode, and below this we have anode. And you have to put the light in the anode side. So in the observer layer, the electron and hole will split, and electron will move in a single direction, hole will move in another direction, so that you can collect the electricity. Yes, I am coming to that. So this is the structure of perovskite solar cell. So ABX3, this is the structure ABX3. So what is A? A is methyl ammonium CH3NH3. B is the lead, which is Pb, and X is your halide, chlorine, iodine, bromine. So CH3, NH3, Pb, I3, Cl3, Br3. Anything is possible, or combination of all these three is possible. So inside this we have lead. So why this is preferred? Because this material has strong optical absorption, suitable band gap for solar spectrum, because solar spectrum we are targeting for visible light, and we have low binding energy, low effective mass, and high mobility, long carrier lifetime, and diffusion length, because diffusion length has to be very high, large diffusion length, because they cannot combine. The hole and electron should not combine together quickly. If they combine, so your amount of current is very less. So, and as well as we should have high dielectric constant, defect tolerant, and low temperature process, because in India we have from 0 degree to 42 or 43, as Professor Manna was telling. So low temperature process. And how to find out the performance of solar cell? The characteristic of solar cell can be measured with these 4 quantity: short circuit current, open circuit voltage, fill factor, efficiency. What is short circuit current? Maximum current that can be extracted from the solar cell when the voltage across the device is 0. If you short circuit, if you have read the Thevenin and Norton theorem, to find out the resistance, short circuit that. To find out the voltage, open circuit that. So that is the short circuit current, and open circuit voltage, maximum voltage when that can be achieved across it when the ratio between maximum power from the solar cell to the product of open circuit voltage and short circuit current. And efficiency, of course, it is a multiplication and division of these 3 are multiplied, and we have our own radiation from the sun, that is 1000 watt per centimeter square. So what are the challenges in perovskite solar cell? Challenges in perovskite solar cell: we have perovskite material, inside that we have lead, we have methyl ammonium, and a halide group material. So challenges are degradation due to moisture. Lead, if you observe in the childhood, we have a Nippo battery, that is in torch you are using battery, Nippo battery. We used to break that and play with those battery in the childhood. There is a black rod inside the battery, that is the lead, and generally children are not allowed to play with that, because lead is a hazardous element, so you should not play. So lead degrades under moisture condition, photo-induced instability due to UV exposure, and thermal stability is very less, and lead is a toxic element. Whereas to eliminate all this problem, we can focus these 4 methodology. So what are the methodology? We can change the composition, we can change the preparation technology, we can optimize the device structure, and of course the packaging has to be best, otherwise it will blast. So we have adopted this compositional engineering. So we have A, B, X3. A is nothing but your CH3NH3 and B is your lead and X3 is your chlorine, bromine and iodine. What we did in our lab, experimentally as well as theoretically, we kept this monovalent cation as it is, that is CH3NH3. This metal cation in place of lead, because lead is unstable, because of that we have replaced lead with some other divalent atoms or elements. So what are the divalent elements we have? We have tin, we have magnesium, these are the divalent atoms, and we have heterovalent, that is trivalent atom also we have substituted, and remaining this part we kept as it is. Okay. So now we have replaced only the B part, that is the lead, with some divalent and trivalent element of the periodic table. And the approach we have followed theoretically is a powerful density functional theory, which if you are doing a research, you are aware of this theory. Otherwise, if you are BTech student, you can just listen to this. Density functional theory, we have used, under density functional theory, we have used full potential linear augmented plane wave method to design or to find out the property of these materials. So this is our periodic table. So here we have replaced this lead with some divalent and trivalent element. So first we will replace this lead with germanium. So let us start with the first investigation. Every time we are replacing the lead with a divalent or trivalent element. Okay. So for the first case we have replaced with germanium. So for that we have used density functional theory and calculate the structure of that perovskite material. So this is the structure of perovskite material with 0% of doping. That means lead is completely present 100%. Now we have replaced lead with 12.5% of lead with germanium. Now in the third case we have replaced lead with 35.7% of germanium, then 62.5% of germanium, 87.5% of germanium. So that means we are not trying to replace the complete lead, we are just replacing lead with maximum amount of germanium. So for that what you did, whether this system, if you replace, this should obey some kind of rules. We cannot replace, we cannot mix apple with orange. So it must obey some kind of rule. So for that we have calculated the energy, that is the minimum energy, and the enthalpy for the system after replacement. We found that if you replace this with a different composition of germanium, the enthalpy is not positive. Even if when the lead is present, only lead is present, enthalpy was positive, and rest of the case enthalpy is negative. That means the system is stable. You heard about I think enthalpy is equal to U is equal to PV, U is equal to H plus PV. So enthalpy is negative. That means it is completely stable. Apart from this investigation, we did another investigation. We found out the tolerance factor. Tolerance factor is also important to find out the stability. And for good stability, the tolerance factor must be within this range, 0.8 to 1. And for all our composition, the tolerance factor is lying between this range. That means all the elements which are replaced with germanium, they are stable in nature in the beginning. Now after that we have optimized the system, because for a crystal structure, if it is a cubic, if it is a tetragonal, if it is a hexagonal, whatever may be based on the system, because this system is a cubic where A is equal to B is equal to C. So here we have found out experimentally and as well as theoretically also we have found out this is in good agreement with the experimental result, and with a hope that if this is matching, that means all the replaced germanium element also match with the, if you carry out the experimental work, it will match with your result. But if you observe this table from top to bottom, the lattice constant is decreasing. Why? Because the germanium is having less atomic radii compared to the lead. Because of that, the lattice constant is decreasing. Volume is also calculated because cubic structure has a volume AQ, so that is also decreasing from top to bottom, and energy is negative everywhere. That means the system is stable. And we have calculated the bulk modulus, which is the mechanical property. That is, we found out this in this range 24 to 25. And apart from that, we found out the bulk derivative of bulk modulus. That is, one time if you derivate the bulk modulus, these are the value you got for this different composition of germanium. Then we have calculated the bond length, because as it is organic, inorganic, because CH3, NH3 there, that is the organic part, and we have inorganic, that is lead and iodide and chlorine, bromine are there. So organic, inorganic perovskite, we have calculated the bond length. What are the bond length? We have calculated the bond between lead or B side with halide, C carbon to nitrogen, and hydrogen to halide. So these are the bond length we have calculated, and we have noted that the bond length of Bi and Cn bond increase, whereas the bond length of Hi bond is increase with the increase in germanium concentration. So if you observe this table, this Bi and Ci decrease, it is decreasing, and whereas this is increasing gradually because of presence of germanium content. And the decrease in bond length may also be due to the difference in electronegativity between the lead and germanium. This is one of the reason we have cited in our paper. Then after that optimization, what we did, we have calculated the band structure. I hope the BTech student who have read basic electronics or analog electronics, they understand only the conduction band and valence band. But band structure do not have only these two bands. Apart from this conduction band and valence band, we have several other bands also. So what are the other bands? These are the sub bands we have in the band structure. And band structure is, what is, if you remember that EK diagram, have you heard about EK diagram? What is that K? Momentum. So momentum is calculated from the Brillouin zone. So in the x-axis we have this Brillouin zone, and y-axis you have your energy. So from here we have calculated the band structure or band gap of individual atoms or individual elements for perovskite with different doping percentage of germanium. So here with 0% doping, we found out this band gap. With 12.5% doping, then we have found out the band gap for 37.5% doping and 62.5% doping and 87.5% doping. And in summary, if you observe the band gap, in the beginning when the doping percentage is 0, the band gap is 1.6 electron volt. 1.6 electron volt, can anybody tell this will lie in the visible region or in the IR region or which region? What is the range of visible wavelength? 400 to 800 or 700. So will it lie in the visible region? Because for solar cell we can see the lights which are visible to us. There are solar energy which is wasted, which is not visible to us. We are not trying to capture those lights. We are only trying to capture the visible lights only. So our band gap must be in the visible region. So if you calculate with a expression that is Eg by 1.24 divided by Eg, you will get that wavelength. So it is 1.6 electron volt, and with 12.5% we have observed 1.49 electron volt and 1.47, 1.46 and 1.35. That means when you increase the doping percentage of germanium, the wavelength is gradually decreasing from 1.6 to 1.35 electron volt. Then for a good solar cell, we must have a good absorption coefficient. Without absorption coefficient, it is not possible. So we need to find out the absorption coefficient. Theoretically we have found, because experimental process is very tedious, time consuming, expensive. If you do a theoretical calculation before your experiment, it will help you, it will give a quick response or quick result what will expected to come in if you do the experimental work. So this is what absorption coefficient we have observed. if you observe this absorption coefficient, as I was telling, the energy range between 0 to 1.7 electron volt, that is IR, and 1.7 to 3.3, that is visible, and 3.3 to 5 ultraviolet. So these are the three regions we have divided, and if you observe, the highest peak is observed nearly 3.3 electron volt. That means this material can absorb maximum visible light compared to the UV and IR light. Okay. So, and we have already discussed here the percentage of UV visible IR this material can capture. You can observe here it is 55% of the total energy, total solar energy it can capture for 0 to 1.7 electron volt, 0 to 1.7 electron volt. So in conclusion, if you replace lead with germanium, the enthalpy of formation of the investigated germanium doped perovskite series are negative except for pristine, that is for undoped system we have positive value, rest of the case we have negative value, that means the system is stable. From structural point of view, the cubic germanium and lead mixed perovskite are more stable than the pristine counterpart. Okay. And from electronic property, that band gap, when you are doping, increasing the percentage of germanium, the band gap is decreasing and going from 1.6 electron volt to 1.35 electron volt. And in absorption case, increasing the evolution of germanium leads to broader optical absorption extending both infrared and ultraviolet region. Hence, absorption is maximum amount of photon, because we must target all the three range, and our focus must be maximum must be in the visible range. So we can tell it is a better alternative to the current silicon technology solar cell. After that, what we did is, in the second case, in place of germanium, now we are targeting gallium. But germanium is having divalent atom, gallium is a trivalent atom. So germanium will replace in place of lead. We will do all the series of calculation in the same way, then trying to find out. So if you replace germanium, lead with gallium, now this is the structure we have obtained for this perovskite. Here also we have tried for 4 combination, that is 0%, that is the pristine or undoped, then 6.25%, 12.5% and 25%. So if you dope this, again you have to calculate the tolerance factor, octahedral factor, lattice constant. But in this case, when you dope gallium with in place of lead, this is no more cubic. Now it is a tetragonal structure. So tetragonal structure, A is equal to B, whereas it is different from C. So we have calculated this lattice constant for this tetragonal structure and the tolerance factor, and it is well within this range. That means this structure is also possible when you dope gallium in place of lead. Then we have calculated the enthalpy and the energy, that is del H. So here we observe that del H is also negative for all the 4 combinations. That means this system is also stable. So if this is stable, so rest of the things we need to calculate. Again we have gone to calculate this band structure. So we found this band structure with 0%, 6.25% and 12.5% and 25%. And we observe that this band gap is, in the last case, band gap was decreasing with germanium doping, but with gallium doping the band gap is increasing. And we have compared with the experimental value with the undoped system, and hopefully this will come when you do a experimental work. This band gap we can detect with a UV visible. Then we calculate the optical property, that is the dielectric constant. Dielectric constant has 2 parts, that is real part of dielectric constant and imaginary part of dielectric constant. So this is the real part of dielectric constant, and for a good solar cell dielectric constant must be very high. If it is dielectric constant is less, the performance will be less. So Here we can observe the dielectric constant for different doping and non-doped system. Dielectric constant is increasing with doping. And after that we calculate the absorption coefficient. Here also you can observe this, the pristine is having highest absorption coefficient around 3.5 electron volt. Then if you dope, the absorption coefficient is slightly decreasing with the doping percentage. Then we have calculated the spectroscopic limit maximum efficiency. That means SLME, what it tells, without going to the device, with a single percentage of gallium, it will reduce further. So it is not advisable to dope more gallium in place of lead. Now in third case, again we did one more theoretical calculation. In place of lead, we did a zinc doping. We finished germanium, gallium. Now we have doped with zinc. This is also a divalent atom. So if you dope this, again we did the same tolerance factor, octahedral factor, everything is same. So we have calculated this stability, and this is the structure for germanium zinc doping. Then we calculate this. In the germanium doping it was a cubical structure. Now it is for zinc doping, it is a tetrahedral structure. A equal to B is not equal to C, and we calculate all the bond length for this system. Then we obtained the energy, total energy and enthalpy, and we observe that all the enthalpy are negative. That means they are stable. Then bend structure, we found that this is 1.68 without doping. Now it is decreasing to this is increasing to 1.82, then 1.88, then increasing to 2.22 electron volt. So now with the absorption coefficient, again pristine is having largest absorption coefficient compared to the doping percentage. When it is 25%, the doping is less, as well as it shifts towards the right hand side. Then we have reflectivity, then optical property. I will not go to the detail because 3 examples in different way I have explained. Then one more thing which is important for solar cell, because Professor Mana was telling, we must have flexible, bendable, stretchable, all these things. So that need a mechanical property. You must aware of the mechanical property of the system. So what we did is we calculate the mechanical property of this material. So to investigate the mechanical property, you must know the elastic constants. So how many elastic constant? In tetragonal structure there are 6 elastic constant. We have calculated this elastic constant, and there is no experimental work till now, and we have compared with the other theoretical value. Then we dope 6.25%, 12.5 and 25%, calculate rest of the elastic constant. Then we calculate the bulk modulus, shear modulus, Young modulus, then B by G, Poisson's ratio, general anisotropy factor, everything we have calculated, and we have reported this in this paper. So in conclusion, for zinc doped, the structural, electronic and optical mechanical property of zinc doped perovskite have been investigated thoroughly through density functional theory. We are not doing experimental right now. So the calculated tolerance and octahedral factor for the formability of the perovskite structure are satisfied. That means it is stable, and the mechanical stability is established, and the absorption efficiency is also calculated for this case. So these are the reference, and these are the facility we have in our laboratory. For experimental work, we have thermal evaporator, spin coating, electrospinning, ultrasonic, globe box, hot air oven, XRD measurement, and cyclic voltmeter, and general facilities. And theoretical side, we have 2 softwares, quantum simulation software and computational facility we have, and as well as we have VASP. So thank you. So I would like to thank our sponsors, that is DST, because we have got project from DST Serve. We have also got project from CSR. Then I must thank NIT Silchar for giving this opportunity, and I am also thankful to the organizer, the whole complete team, and Dr. Subhas to giving me chance to present this work here. Thank you so much. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Thank you.
Yes, actually we are not targeting the other layer material, that is ETL. ETL is generally a oxide material, titanium oxide or tin oxide. We are not targeting. Another student is doing that, and HTL layer is a polymer material. So we are not working on polymer. We are purchasing that as it is. This is the quantum simulation is density functional theory under plane wave pseudo potential method. Okay. Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes.
So what is the state of industrial research in this?
Yes. Yes. In the beginning, I was telling we have missed the bus for silicon solar cell, but we should not miss the bus for perovskite solar cell. If you miss, then we have to wait for another 20 years. Because China is severely working on perovskite solar cell. The only problem in perovskite solar cell is the stability and the toxicity of lead. Lead generally, if you bring outside, it will be water or liquid. So to stabilize the lead and to make less toxicity, we have to replace lead with some other materials. Yes, means it is in the research stage, but we should not miss this bus. We can have a laboratory for this, we can start.
Are there any other disadvantages apart from the toxicity aspect?
What are the?
Are there any other disadvantages, practical disadvantages apart from
Stability is a huge disadvantage for lead. Yes, this is a low cost process and low temperature process also. Yes, silicon. Silicon already reached the highest efficiency. We cannot tune the silicon to have better efficiency, better than this 29 or 30%. No.
What about maximum efficiency?
It is, yes. This slide, I think it is around 30%. Right now it is 30% only in a span of 20 years.
So what's about how much can be?
The QS limit is 45%. 45%. QS, yes, theoretically. So you can reach up to 45% if it is having good technology, thickness, material, sunlight, temperature, all these things.
I will ask you better
Yes.
the conversion, how you did this photo to some efficiency.
Yes, 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 yes. Any other? Yes, yes. Yes, please. Please sit.
I want to operate my sensor in a near infrared region.
Yes.
So, but my material I am using, for example, I want to confirm one thing. You are saying about the 1.6 electron volt, 1.8, 1.7 electron volt for only visible regions. But I am using silver or some other material for my application. That is for 3 point something. This is operated in near infrared region.
Okay.
But I want the same material to operate in visible region.
Okay.
So you are saying about the doping is one of the solutions for reducing the band of that is the energy level.
Yes.
So is there any other solutions are available for that? So actually I want the silver I want to use as a visible region, but the energy level is theoretically 3 point something 3 point electron.
Yes.
But I want to use as a silver material for my visible region application.
Okay. Then you have to dope because well-known technology is there silicon germanium. Silicon 1-X, germanium X. You can dope silicon germanium to tune the band gap. See, what advantage you have in silicon, that you need to see. What is not available in other material. What is not available in other materials, that also you need to see. Is it available in gallium arsenide? Then you shift to gallium arsenide. Because silicon is already reached the limit. We cannot put pressure on silicon. We have to think of some other substrates. Okay. Thank you.
Mizoram, that is another national institute of importance, which is one of the last state in the northeast of India. I am working over there. So let's come into the topic. So my outline of the presentation will be somewhat from the basics, introduction, where I will talk about the technology trends and the short channel effects. followed by the strain silicon technology, where strain silicon, silicon germanium technology, stress and strain, which is kind of the mechanical aspects of it, motivation, challenges and objectives of the part, development of devices, simulations, development and establishment of double-strained HOI structure, results and discussions, and finally the conclusion. So in introduction, the technology trends has been going on from before the NTIRS and the ITRS has been going on, where we started with the technology nodes from 8 microns and have reached down to 0.5 micron technology. Now after that we went to the after NTRS and the ITRS regime, which is somewhere between 2005 to 2015 around. So at that time we were working on technologies from 350 nanometer down to 45 nanometer technology node. And now we are in the future, which is basically below 32 nanometer. So we are in some cases working in 22 nanometer, 16 nanometer and so on. This is the technology node that is presently we are working in. Fine. So when we are already working in this technology node, so that means we are basically in the nano electronics regime, nano regime. So having this nano regime thing, what we are exactly featuring out? We are basically featuring out in some modern electronic devices like MOSFETs, where we have the different problems such as miniaturized compact structure, high performance, low power devices, reliability and low cost are the objective or the target of today. And that leads to the develop the shorter channel length devices and therefore developing short channel effects in the MOSFET. So what are the different short channel effects? So these are some of the list that we can come up, and these are some of the mechanisms which are shown over here, like the punch through effect and the DIBL, the velocity saturation, and these are some of the basic short channel effects that has been that we are pronouncing within the MOSFET technology. So SCEs, that is the short channel effects, which are quite imperative in today's technology, has come up with innovative techniques that are already being employed in different technologies that you can see in the picture over here, where different devices like germanium gate stack the channel material, changing the channel material to develop a different type of device, or even changing the structure to some extent to maintain the Moore's law and to be at par with the technology nodes. So that has already been going on. We have induced the high K dielectrics, we have reduced the source junction depths, and thereby we have introduced the strain silicon technology as the new device structures. So having this, so what is this strain silicon technology? So the strain silicon technology is basically a technology where the silicon material is grown on silicon germanium. So as you can see from the atomic structure over here, the silicon germanium has a wider lattice spacing, and thereby when silicon is grown on that, the silicon gets a mechanically stretched structure. So that is known as tensile strain. And developing that basically allows spacing to be created in the silicon region. So the atomic layer, atomic atomic carriers gets spaced out in between them, which leads to around 42.42% gap. Being this the crucial idea, so stress strain mechanism has been implemented in our technology. So thereby we developed, we incubated this technology and developed the biaxial and uniaxial strain in the system, or basically the FET type of technologies, and that leads to the development of two-fold and four-fold strain structure in the layer system, where we splitted the energy band level, as we can see over here, that leads to enhance in the electron mobility by having the light hole varied in the upper level going out of the plane structure. Thereby, this considerable attention has been given in the strain silicon technology for in the last decade or so, and therefore different devices has come up based on this technology. This is one of the device where you can see silicon on silicon germanium 2-layer channel has been created in the on top of the barrier oxide, forming the MOSFET. This is a device which was developed sometime around in 2009. So this is a dual channel that was developed. Considering that, I'm going a bit faster, so skipping a few slides over here. So the challenges that came up. So as we have the 2-channel device. So the idea was to implement or develop a more compact as well as a faster device, so to meet the need of the processor or your mobile phones or any other application point of view. And therefore, the major concern was to induce threshold voltage roll-off and the counterbalancing the valid threshold voltages, inducing critical thickness beyond misfit dislocation, and thereby we implemented the device Monte Carlo simulations, the quantum effect analysis, and thereby we included the quantum simulation and quantization model for both the strain silicon and silicon germanium layers. Having these incorporated, we developed the HOI structure, which is known as the heterostructure on insulator, which was developed in our lab. We initially developed at 100, 50 and 40 nanometer technology nodes, channel lengths, so as to figure out the efficiency of it with the basic structures that we initially had. And this is the structure, this is the channel structure that we developed with the 3-layer system, having all the 3 layers in the channel itself, having silicon, 2 silicon layers and silicon germanium in between. So that leads to the silicon germanium also being strained in the another way, in the compressed way, so that this helps in not only forming a quantum well barrier system in the channel, but also allows quantum tunneling and quantum confinement effect in the system. So let's see what actually happened. So that resulted in the development of a new structure. It allowed carrier transport benefits. It allowed electrostatic SOI MOSFET technology. So we did not use any new technology in it, but with the existing CMOS technology that was already running in the market, we implemented our technology so as to have a better performing device with the existing technology. So the cost is same, no increase in cost, but we are getting a better option, faster device. So that was the target. So having that, we incubated the quantum carrier confinement effect and solved the one-dimensional Schrodinger quantization model, and that is how we created the band gap calculation, and we calculated the band gap monitoring for the full structure in the system. And this was some of the parametric values that we considered for our device. So all the 3 different channel lengths has been shown over here, considering the different parameters. We use the strain silicon thickness layers of only 2 nanometer thick, and therefore developed and the silicon germanium of 8 nanometers. So the total thickness of the channel is only 12 nanometer. So basically we are having the quantum wells in the silicon layers. So this is the confinement effect that we observed. We saw the electron confinement and the hole confinement taking place in the quantum structure. What is the benefit of this? So this is your this is the gate side and this is the substrate side, and carriers are flowing from the source to drain. So therefore, as we are having the carriers flowing through this nano channel region, they are getting coordinated together So therefore, what is basically happening? We are having this gap created in the silicon germanium throughout the channel region, and therefore leading to have a more efficient and effect in faster effect in having a quasi-ballistic transport happening in the system. Therefore, the device characteristics is presented over here, which showed a 49% enhancement without investing anything. Just changing the technology from a 2-layer technology to a 3-layer technology, we enhanced the performance of the device by 49%, which was a huge achievement. This basically resulted in getting one of our innovation patents. Having this, we developed we also studied the different layer thickness for the silicon germanium, why 8 nanometer. So if we are going down, we are reducing the performance. If we are increasing it, we are leading into punch-through effect. So therefore not possible. So 8 nanometer remained the optimized option. We therefore reduced the channel thickness to 40 nanometers. So as you can see, in 40 nanometer thickness, for variation of silicon germanium thickness, how the IDVG characteristics are changing, we can see a huge amount of leakage is getting clearly observed, which is not a desirable option. We studied the velocity overshoot study on the devices. We compared with the existing conventional device and compared our new devices at 150 nanometer gate lengths, and we observed around 119% enhancement in the velocity overshoot, which is more than double what we are getting. So having this things, we figured out the higher mobility and drift velocity happening in our device. So this is the quantum carrier confinement effect that we studied and observed. So a one-dimensional continuous quantization model was incorporated, and therefore we created the total gap of the quantization structure in the system. We varied the transconductance to DIBL and the threshold voltage also, and thereby we observed that our device, which is basically compared with the existing device A and the conventional device. So conventional device had a very bad effect. So our device observed to be a better option with lower DIBL and higher transconductance. Same went for the threshold voltage to channel DIBL options. We observed that our device performed quite better. Then when we compared with our 50 nanometer, the reduced gate length device, that gave a 41% enhancement in the IV characteristics. Again, performance enhancement. So high electron mobility was observed for 40 nanometer device, and with the shrunken device dimensions, we therefore promoted velocity overshoot condition resulting in quasi-ballistic transport within the tri-layer channel system. In the 40 nanometer device technology, we also incorporated the quantum well system, where in the quantum well we observed the peak velocity at in the silicon regions were clearly observed, whereas in silicon germanium the velocity was quite low, and because that's a barrier is forming, so the electrons are basically moving through the silicon layers rather than the silicon germanium, so that incubated faster movement of the carriers to the drain. Reduce the dimension to 30 nanometer. The leakage increased because the dimension has been reduced, but that still is in the acceptable range as per the IRDR standard. We did the silicon germanium variation because the dimension has reduced, so therefore all other parameters has also to be reduced or geometrically optimized for the concerned gate length. And therefore what we observed is that if the silicon germanium is thicker, with the we are having increased leakage. So we reduce the concerned total thickness of the channel to around 4 nanometer. 5 nanometer. So electron velocity analysis was compared 50 nanometer, 40 nanometer and 30 nanometer gate length devices. So we are seeing that a high electron velocity is observed in the silicon regions only. So you can see the silicon regions in all the three cases. The silicon regions are more adverse to the electron velocity. So therefore the silicon is having a better impact or better mobility of the carriers. So we compared it. So again we saw a similar aspect of the electron velocity leading to a highest maximum velocity for the 30 nanometer gate length device. The electric field was studied. So the electric field gave the maximum electric field for the 30 nanometer device, where the channel thickness was kept at 1.5, 3, 1.5 as the three different layers. And this is the IDVG and IDVD characteristics for different germanium concentrations, substrate concentrations. And finally, going to the conclusion. So the development of two strain silicon layer channel were developed, and it was all implemented initially at the in the MOSFET system, developing the heterostructure on insulator MOSFET. Due to the additional strain silicon layer, we have achieved 49% enhancement in current, which incubated the speed of the device. Quantum carrier confinement was clearly detected, resulting in counterbalancing the strain of threshold voltage roll-off. Velocity overshoot of sub 50 nanometer device leading to improved transconductance was observed. Optimal channel length for this device structure was at 40 nanometer, leading to enhanced device performance, and 50% over 100 nanometer was observed, leading to minimal deleterious short channel effects, which is basically the major problems in shortening the device dimensions. Shorter the channel length, higher the electric field, and leads to higher drain current, and that is what we observed. Thicker silicon germanium leads to high leakage, so therefore thin box and thin silicon germanium was required, which reduces quasi-quantum tunneling and reducing the drive current. So therefore the scale dimensions at device 30 nanometer gate length was developed, which produced 93% enriched drain current. So that's, I think this is the list of reference and acknowledgement to our project and my group members, students. And that's all.
So, any questions?
It's decreasing. So as we are increasing the, shortening the gate length, the substratial swing is increasing, but it's within the limit, and we are able to control it with the strain effect. And now, over here I just showed the implementation in linear MOSFET. We have recently implemented the same technology in double gate and also in FinFET technologies. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, sir. I request Titus sir to hand over memento to our keynote speaker.